Hello, welcome to the Stream of Chaos. We are Chaosium's official live play channel, and we are here playing Call of Cthulhu. Now currently we're playing through a Cold Fire Within, and before we join today's session, let's meet our cast. James, kick us off.
Hi, I'm James. I'm playing José Castillo, the steadfast bodyguard and recent bear attack victim of this fine gentleman over here.
Hey, I'm Jackson. I'm playing William Vanderven. When we last met, he finally, took what was rightfully his and obtained a very nice bear hunting trophy from a bear he single-handedly killed by himself solo.
Yeah.
One shot. Hello, my name is Rachael. I play Edie Cheong. Last time I made a car that doesn't make any noise. It's pretty great. It's like a Tesla. I invented Teslas. Cool.
What else did you do in that episode?
Oh, I don't know. I think I ran over Jim.
That sounds familiar.
And well, it's like or a bear, but it turns out it was just Jim.
Yep. And I'm Daniel, and I play Detective Nick DeMartino. And last time I shot an interdimensional beast of some kind.
Yeah.
That we are unsure. Interdimensional giraffe is probably an accurate way of putting it.
The bear was terrorizing the whole party and came back from the dead. It almost killed José. And then the interdimensional being was shot, I think, in one round of combat and immediately killed.
It wasn't even a round of combat, only one person was firing.
So we probably should address the bear fiasco. We have rejigged the pay points for stuff things ever so slightly, because as amazing as it was, if it happened 4 times in a row, that would probably be bad. So what's happened is, I think James did the changes, but I believe there is now a separate one you can do to replenish baddie health or NPC health or bathtub health, which is 6,000, or you can boost up our intrepid investigators for 2,500 points. I think it's 6,000 for all the other stuff.
It sure seemed with all those bears and terrifying monsters that the Reaper was after us. Much like the Reaper who just subscribed for the 6th month.
6 months in a row.
Wow,
Wow,
6 months. I think we need to get a new badge now. You get a new,
I believe we've not had 1 year. Anyway, thank you so much,
Reaper
Reaper.
has a founder badge anyway.
I speak literally, of course, because Reaper was the one
Who resurrected the bear. Yeah, we're furious. But yeah, if anyone, if you guys have Twitch Prime, you can subscribe to one channel for free, so check that out. But he said yelling. Before we go any further, let's jump into the game. So where we left off, the 4 of you had skirted around a small town which seemed to have patrols of hypnotized, gun-wielding mountain men, and headed for the caves, which you believed Leopold Fontanelli, Ferdinand Argus, and crew have descended down through. Managed to wheel your car around and to the edge without alerting anyone, and are just beginning your descent. Let's get a quick visual of everyone in the party. What do you guys look like, and where are you currently sitting in this cramped vehicle, noting that the bear is taking up the back and the bathtub is taking up the roof? You're driving, Edie.
Driving.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm driving.
Yep, and what do you look like? What does Edie look like?
I am a stocky, shortish woman. I'm a Chinese American background.
Yep.
I would say it's not looking so great. Just with all the, I don't think I was injured in the fight, but I did barrel a car into someone. So I think I've just got kind of like a 1,000-yard, like I'm disassociated from my current situation a little bit.
And you're refusing to look at José, just for the time being until things warm up, because of course, shortly after you hit José with a car, he shot it to death. So we see Edie in the front seat driving as it begins to descend down, the beams illuminating the dark within. Who's in the passenger seat? Who's got shot?
I think you two would be in the back, right? You'd want to be with
I'm always
him.
in the back.
Yeah, and you'd want to be with him.
Well, the back is awfully close to the bear. So I can choose to next to Edie in the front seat or the bear in the back seat. Currently tossing up.
The bear that I killed?
Yes.
The bear that I killed dead?
Yes.
And there's no chance of...
Yeah, well, why don't you take the front seat?
Oh, I don't mind. I'll happily take either. Wherever I am, I'm gripping the hilt of my pistol tightly and warily scanning through the darkness as only the headlights illuminate through the darkness. I'm trying to peer in and see if I can see anything deeper into the tunnel, but ultimately failing because it is so pitch black, I imagine.
And Nick is a cop, right?
Yeah.
And he's dressed in, do you still have your badge displayed, or are you wearing kind of civilian clothes?
No, I'd be wearing civilian clothes.
Okay.
I got a badge in my pocket.
Yep. And a gun in the other.
Yeah.
And the only other thing of note is your gloves, which you're still wearing at the moment, right? Okay. So you're a little nervous, tapping on the front and peering out into the gloom to make sure nothing gets a chance to sneak up on the floor. How about the two of you in the back?
Fine, thank you.
What does William look like?
I think he's got his. I think like I'm rocking this look. I think it's similar to this. Where shirt sleeves rolled up, tie still firmly affixed. Weathering the outdoors quite well. I mean, he hasn't got any serious fights apart from shooting a bear dead.
Yep.
In one shot. That's not much of a serious fight. So I think he's still having a pretty good time.
You did also get hit by the car.
Did I?
Or you threw yourself on the car and got hit by it.
I tried to hold on.
Yeah.
That's
You got dinged by the car, which is fine. Okay.
You got projected.
That's fine.
So we see William, who's handling everything remarkably well.
Fine. And thank you for asking.
That's quite alright, William. Glad you will.
I think Jose is feeling like he's rapidly lost control of the situation, which he never really controlled to begin with. But I think that he's finding calm by going over everything that's in the car. He's checking his pistol. He's making sure that all the equipment is strapped down. He's checking the bathtub isn't going to slide off and clock someone as soon as the car brakes suddenly. Make sure it's all safe.
Very good.
Yeah, apart from that, clothes are quite significantly torn by now. There's big bear claw, there's a big patch of oil and soot on the back and tire treads across the legs.
You've seen better days, but it's possible that your destination is close at hand. You know they went down here, and this is the first time you've really picked up their trail in a little while. You knew that they stopped in Saugerties to the east. But you knew they hadn't gone through Woodstock, so it's good to kind of be back in pursuit, knowing that you're actually finally, hopefully, making some progress. You made good time with the car. Now you just need to close that remaining distance. As you descend down and into the cave, it's very dark within, and the only light that emanates forth is the head beams that sort of blare out into the light, into the darkness, cutting through the gloom and showing the rocky path below. This was not made for a car to descend through. It was never intended to be travelled by vehicle. And where the other party went, you can only assume they travelled down it, possibly in pairs of two, as the walls where they meet the ground sort of curve inwards, and the car is already up on a bit of an angle and driving along the rock as it begins to descend down. There are a couple of things of note though. It's hard to see because the lights focus immediately ahead, but with the ambient glow, and as Nick clicks on a torch and shines it out his passenger window, no, we're in the America, so you're on the right, you can see there are carvings on either sides of the wall. The one you're looking at is coated in these sort of twisting serpentine patterns. They've been very carefully and intricately carved into it, and they coat the whole thing from floor to ceiling in a sort of Gordian knot style. They sort of lap over one another, knit back in, and then emerge in various heads, tails, and just forming this tangled mass. They're beautifully done. Very detailed instruments used in their crafting. This couldn't have feasibly been done with just hammer and chisel. As you switch around and look on the other side, you can see that the left-hand wall has a similar image, except it's slightly different. Rather than snakes tangled within themselves, there are tentacles which rise up from the lowest point in just a mass of these great tree trunk thick things, and then swirl around the puckers gripping on one another, and then finally get to the top where they separate a little bit and fan out over the roof to almost meet, kissing the serpent's heads where they arrive just above you. It's pretty well kept for the first 5 minutes of your descent, but then you begin to see some wear and tear. Natural erosion has carved elements away, and some pieces have been chipped or broken by passage in the distant or near past.
And they're becoming more chipped and broken.
As the car sort of like spins out one
Wait,
car
what are
and
you talking
flies
about?
a bunch of it behind you.
My modification job was flawless.
Well, it's very silent apart
very
from the sound
quiet.
of
Like, more
ground
than-
grinding rock.
It's more that like a car shouldn't be in here. Is the impression
Well, we're not
you get.
scraping against the walls.
We're
or
not?
anything.
You're pretty close to the walls. You're just up on one of them. You're chewing out a bit of the lower parts of the details. If it was a fresco, it would be bugging.
With a little nervousness and to calm my nerves, I might be so bold as to lean towards Mr. Van der Van and say, "Sir, listen, I'm sorry to bother you. I couldn't I couldn't have one of your cigarettes, could I?"
Oh, by all means.
Oh, thank you, and I'll take it. And I don't have a lighter, so I'll stand kind of awkwardly and Do you have a, yeah.
I think it. Would I have a lighter?
Of course.
I would have a lighter. Yes, by all means.
Light one up and kind of blow the smoke out the window to not damage the upholstery.
Yeah, you roll the window down, and from inside, you're getting that sort of waft of fairly stale air, whatever's been captured down here for a while and is not recycled frequently. Each lungful, you're glad to have the cigarette smoke to kind of ease its passage down.
Smooth.
Are you all continuing? Are you staying within the vehicle, or is anyone getting outside to walk in front of it? It is a little precarious, and someone at the front to sort of guide you down. And this is not a perfect tunnel. It is for the moment, but it's beginning to... Already you can see crevices which branch out to different directions. Note the last time someone walked you through... Yeah.
How high is this tunnel? Is the bathtub scraping against the ceiling?
It isn't at the moment. It's about 8 or 9 feet, but you don't have a lot of leeway.
What's
and
the
it's...
grade?
Oh,
Steep.
not particularly, but it is descending more and more rapidly.
Yeah, okay.
When you first rolled in, it was basically like emerging into a cave, and then you slowly begin to go lower. But you can see it's also twisting round to the side.
Yeah, okay.
You don't have any compasses with you, but you'd have a pocket watch at least, and you're able to keep track of time throughout the descent.
Would you like me to get out and try and lead the car again?
I don't think that's necessary. Is it?
I mean, I feel like I have a handle on the driving. I don't... it's not too steep. Or
Last time one of us got out of the car, it didn't end super well.
Yeah, there could be... I mean, who knows what's in these tunnels?
Yeah, bears.
Better to keep a layer between us and whatever's down here.
You're right, but last time, if we hadn't got out of the car, we wouldn't have been able to follow the path.
That said, it would be bad if we got stuck in the car.
Yeah, but there's lots of doors out of the car.
But what if we can't open the doors? What if there's
Why-
not enough?
why not?
Or what
if
if we
it's not wide enough?
pitch off, or what if we
we
get hit a pothole and disable the car?
What if
It's a
if
trail.
ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a wonderful Christmas.
I'm not familiar with that expression.
Yeah.
No, neither am I.
Yeah. Look,
Did you
have candy
did
nuts
you-
every
did
Christmas.
you ad-lib that, or was that...
no, it was something my dad used to say back in the day.
That's very nice.
Yeah, all right.
I see where he's coming from now.
Well, Christmas dinners aside, we've got some of the serious situation to deal with.
This is the only entrance into the cave. Presumably, people have been walking down here for quite some time, and they must be safe.
I would not agree with that statement.
I don't... Yeah, I mean, people
we
die
haven't-
die in caves.
Yeah, but we haven't found the people we're chasing.
I think we're safer in the car than out of the car.
I agree.
All right.
Does anyone know anything about these like murals and stuff? Like they look a bit weird. Does anyone do history in high school?
I'd love
I flunked out. I was pretty bad.
No,
I
I also flunked that, allegedly.
Can I have a history roll? On these
Sure.
things?
You could make a hard history roll. The only alternative one would be if anyone would like to attempt a Cthulhu Mythos roll.
Oh. Could I attempt a Cthulhu Mythos roll? Actually, could I attempt a cult roll?
You could try a cult. Mythos is more applicable, but you could try a cult
Could
first.
I try a harder cult roll over a Cthulhu Mythos?
Same kind of vein you're going
You
down.
can tell by the tentacles.
Alright, well, let's
Yeah.
just do Mythos.
So the two of you are stopping for a moment. You're going to hop out of the car and begin to, or at least just get close enough to have a look.
Okay.
Alright, go for it. How'd you on the history?
No good.
No good.
It's not really a way to push a history roll, is there?
Look, from here, no. You could sink some time into it. You could
Right.
spend the night. Actually, it's pretty early. You could spend a few hours into the evening. But just on a quick glance, it's quite nicely made, but no direct ties to anything
We'll
you're
keep
familiar
on
with.
rolling.
Since these two are getting out and actually having a look over the symbols, I will just have a glance at the front of the car, see if I can judge the road up ahead and say, you're going to have to veer right because there's a pothole coming up. Nothing too far, I'm not straying, but...
Yeah, okay. You head out, and you're not going to leave the floodlights where they land. Go ahead and make a track test, rather. How'd you go on a cult?
That was close.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's significance to them. You're sure of it.
So what do we got? We got snakes and then
And tentacles.
octopuses.
Yeah.
Squids.
You never see the body of the squid, whereas the snakes seem to be portrayed in their whole
Right.
length.
Maybe the snakes are the servants of the big squid that we cannot see. I say with no academic backing
And
or
honking the car.
scientific understanding.
Yeah.
That's
I
as good a
lean
reason.
out,
It's,
I
yeah,
lean out the window and I shout that across the cabin.
I'm looking at them not knowing anything. I go, yeah, it could be true, yeah.
DeMartino, what of them snakes? They're like the workers and the octopuses, the oppressiveness of capitalism.
I can't disagree with you. It fits. All the evidence is right there.
William, you feel a shiver go down your spine as someone slanders
Are
capitalism.
we talking about capitalism?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. No.
You just let me know you want to talk about capitalism.
The squid is a Federal Reserve.
Here's the bull and that's the bear. Oh,
the
God,
snakes
bear.
are the creeping tide of communism coming in to destroy our capitalist utopia. Anyway, moving on.
How'd you go on your track?
Success. Regular success.
Looking ahead, you can see that this is going to be difficult. Almost immediately, it's becoming less and less well trodden. From deep below, you can hear dropping water, and it sort of echoes back, sort of possibly leading to larger caverns, which you're going to need to wind through. Additionally, as you pause for a minute, you get a whiff of something from up below. Like, first you just think it's sort of like dust, sort of fills your throat, and then you get just a trace of powder, gunpowder,
Oh.
or something similar.
I'll come back and
It's not too far.
I'll let the others know. Now I couldn't make my firearm skill to try and isolate whether that's gunpowder from a firefight or what I suspect is more likely gunpowder from explosives.
It's a good idea. I would say it's probably demolitions.
I was gonna say I have demolition.
Do you want to go for a demolition
So
skill?
if you pass that information
I
to
pass
me.
that information to you, and also could I argue my track check has given any kind of bonus towards a future drive auto check?
For the foreseeable, yes. Actually, there's minimal risk here. You've confirmed that you'll be able to pass this section, but it might be difficult in future.
Okay,
And you're
great.
keeping an eye out. Okay. So you're going to roll down the window as well, and you step out to the front. Go ahead and make a demolitions check. It's going to be
I don't want to
possibly
suggest.
extreme.
I don't-
You're going off smell alone.
Yeah.
This is pretty difficult. Smell,
I'm-
distance, you can't see it. You just don't know.
I'm not that good at demolitions.
And
so
you're going to have to even, smell it to begin with. So yeah, probably an extreme demolitions test.
Alright.
Hey, it's
There's
worth
always
go.
a chance.
Not a lot of options. Nah. And I
No.
don't want to lock that down.
Yeah, unfortunately, based off this alone, you just don't know.
Alright.
But there is gunpowder here of some kind.
You're going off what Jose said. You suspect you might be able to smell it, but it's not significant. It's hard to smell.
Well, if they were down there and they were either fighting something or they were blasting passages, it means they've set up some kind of operation. So, also if it's lingering in the air, we might be closer than we think. Thank God we've got this car be running quietly.
Alright, round up back in the car.
Sounds like we can push on a little further.
Okay. Continuing further down, the car continues to roll and it gets steeper and steeper. You begin to branch in different directions, following what is clearly the large and primary cavern, occasionally still spotting smaller murals that make you confident that you're on your right path, but the offshoots are tiny and they never go very far. Eventually, however, after 2, 3, or 4 hours of slow and steady driving, you're getting kind of cramped and you begin to sort of have to stretch your hand because you're tense this whole time. You never get a chance to breathe. It's always this sort of constant awareness and just a feeling that something's around. But eventually you see up ahead, the lights pick up a rock pile of a cave-in or something similar. Based on what you smelt earlier, you suspect this may have been triggered rather than naturally occurring. And looking around the sides, you can see this whole thing is pretty much completely blocked in. This passage doesn't go any further.
So there's no way around it. We've just hit a dead end.
That's
as far
completely
as
right.
we're aware.
They
How is
have
that
blocked.
possible?
Well, I mean, dynamite further down could have triggered a cave-in.
Yeah,
Does
they
it look like a
could.
cave in?
It's a pile of rocks that filled the
Otherwise,
tunnel.
they could have just blasted behind them.
Yeah, they could have sealed the entrance behind them. Yeah.
Why would they want to seal the entrance?
Okay,
So nothing can follow them.
But then they would just trap themselves in, right?
maybe they don't intend to come out.
Maybe it's part of their plan.
Alright, well, looks like we're stuck here for a little bit. I'm gonna go check out the rock slide, see if any of it's movable.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go have a look.
Oh yeah, use your engineering
Like structurally,
experience.
well, it's a rock pile. There's no structure, but
No, there's
get an idea of how stable it is and
No, I pay it. The two of you hop out from the front and you leave the engine running so that the lights fill this area. You have a couple of handheld torches with you, and say 2, and a few spare batteries, but you don't have a plethora of equipment with you, and you are hoping that this isn't going to go for too long. Stepping forward now, you click on a couple of the lights and begin to shine out the shadows that fill the crevices. This is a 10-foot high, about 8 foot wide. It's pretty big, and it's filled the entirety of this section. Could you make? I could see either archaeology, geology, engineering, demolitions. There's a bunch of stuff you could try here.
I mean, I might go for engineering just in terms of, just in terms of seeing, like, so basically what I'm interested in is if we had to dig through it, how stable is it? Are these big rocks? Are they, like, how reasonably movable is this? Or is this something we would need explosives for?
Nope, 100%. All right, could you give me, so it was engineering, right?
Yeah.
Yep. No, that works. Go ahead and make an engineering test. What is everyone else doing? Before you roll, what's everyone else doing? Oh, it's all good. Oh, just don't result.
I'd like to attempt to see if I can hear anything happening further down,
Okay.
or hopefully like right on the other side. See if there's anyone on the other side. Or
Make a listen check. If you don't get it, you're gonna need at least hard or higher to get anything.
Yeah.
What about the two of you?
I'm also inclined to listen, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I'm going to do a quick sweep of the perimeter, see if, first of all, if there's anything lurking around that we need to be worried about, but also if I can see any signs of, did they camp here? Is there scorch marks all over the walls that indicates this was clearly an explosion? Can I make a spot hidden test?
Certainly. All right, go for spot hidden, and then let's go back to it. So, Edie, how'd you go?
Oh my god. I've got 60. What's the fumble?
98. No, just 100 if you're above 50.
Okay, I rolled 97. So it's okay? It's not a
Yes,
fumble?
no, that's not a
Okay,
fumble.
cool. I had no idea. Yes, no.
No, looking at this, it's not complete, and at the highest points, you can see, like, traces of air going through. It would be possible to move, but your current plan would just be start shoveling rocks,
Yeah, that's what
which
it
will
would be.
take a while. Listen. How'd you go?
100.
Fumble.
A
Nice.
fumble.
Amazing. How'd you go?
How do you
Oh, I got 67, which is 1 off a
You
success.
rupture both.
Okay.
And I'm
Yeah.
not. I don't know. I mean, I could spend 1 luck to get it. Yeah.
Lucky guy.
Yeah, I'll spend. It's not going to give me anything, I don't think.
Yeah,
okay,
hard or
so-
higher just to get anything.
Yeah.
No.
How do you fumble a listen roll?
Oh, I'm thinking you probably head towards the top of the rock pile to try and get a really clear listen for it. And also, everyone's talking, and you have to just be able to really isolate that, get rid of distractions, and you slowly begin to scramble up the side of the rock pile. Eventually, and unfortunately, it gives way beneath you, and as things tumble back down to the earth, you're brought with it in a sort of little flurry of rocks and Van de Ven. Go ahead and take a D4 of damage.
I'd love to.
As you fall to the bottom, your suit slightly damaged.
One.
Just one.
Yeah, not too bad.
You
Spotting
graze your
this
knee.
disaster, I mean, my charge has been hurt. I'm going to abandon my spot hidden check, which I failed anyway.
Yeah.
And tear over and start patching him up. Can I
Okay.
make a first aid?
Yeah, go for a first aid test. So you guys are settling here for a moment or two. This is doable, and it seems to be the only passage. Your current only idea would just be set to it with people moving rocks.
Yeah.
Okay. Also,
Which is what I've discovered. Let it be known.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks like some of them are loose. We could probably get in there. I'm glad I found some
Are
of the
you,
loose
like,
ones.
rubbing your head
Yeah.
as you
Yeah.
staring
The
at
one
this-
cut, yeah.
The rest of them we should move pretty easily. I think from my initial examination.
Okay, so what if we drove the car into the rocks?
Uh-huh.
I don't know why I'm not. What if we got rid of like half of it and then just snow plowed right on through?
Could we get like some ropes around some rocks, then get the car to pull them away?
You probably have, like, no ropes.
Do we have any like weird science shit with me? I just realized I've never used it.
You kitted out the car to make it run silent the
That's
other,
true,
and
yeah,
I
I forgot
imagine,
about that
yes, you possibly raided a little bit from the Institute.
Mm.
You have enough to possibly, you could try and work something out, but you're a little short on supplies at the moment. It'd be a bit bare bones, and you'd probably be breaking other things to make whatever you want.
Alright.
Unless we go back to the town.
Maybe we should just keep shoveling. Maybe we should start shoveling. Do we have any shovels? Did you guys bring shovels?
We brought some stuff, but we also brought a lot of useless stuff.
What do you mean?
And a bathtub.
Yeah, well, we brought some stuff.
Hold on.
Some
What's a
useless
bathtub
stuff.
if not a giant shovel?
Oh, I like the way you think.
It
No,
weighs like.
I mean, I think we're just shifting these rocks by hand if we don't have any other ideas.
I think we may as well get started,
There
right?
must be like something from all the
I think
good
we have
stuff
rolled
we
like
bought.
4 times to see if you guys have anything useful
Yeah.
and consistently failed or fumbled.
Yeah.
I think you guys are pretty equipment.
All
Is there enough
Unfortunately.
air to squeeze through the top?
Not currently,
Okay.
Well, let's
but you could
focus
work
on
on
the
that
top.
first.
Well, we'd have to leave the car behind.
Well, that's.
that I'm not soon. But
Why don't we start off by clearing? And I take off my jacket,
Yeah,
which is
let's-
already behind me enough, so it's...
yeah,
Consistent.
I agree. I think we may as well just get started on this.
Okay. It's going to be a strength roll.
Yeah.
Who's going to work on that?
I'm gonna go first because I've got.
Well, it
really
will be
just hold
easier
on.
if multiple people work on
Absolutely.
it. Like it'll happen
Fact,
faster.
Do we do multiple
Rolls for
rolls
that.
or rolls with advantage?
Let me check.
Not advantage.
Alright.
Bonus
There's a
dice.
thingy for it.
Why
It's
don't-
it's beyond the human
Why
limits.
don't you stay and rest?
I'd be happy to supervise.
Why aren't you helping?
My strength of 35.
Yeah, I got a strength of 40. We're
Mr. Van der Van is much better in a supervisory role.
That's
How?
true. Well, how do you think I got to where I am today?
Yeah, but what are you gonna supervise?
He's managed construction projects before.
yeah,
That's true.
And
But you could, you
but
could.
it doesn't. You just need to pick up rocks and move them.
Well, he has to make sure we're picking them up in a way that's like good manual handling, which I assume hasn't technically been invented
Yeah,
yet.
lift with your what is it? Your back. You want to put all all the weight
no,
on
no,
your
no.
back.
You gotta,
And,
yeah.
and jerk it. And you want to jerk it right up.
No, because your back is a large muscle, so therefore it's strong.
Yeah, and all those bones.
Interestingly, during the 1920s and 30s, every time somebody lifted anything up, regardless of weight, they'd immediately collapse in agony. It was just an accepted part of life.
Yeah, that's just the all construction workers jangles or whatever they call it.
Join the construction union. Arr!
All right.
Look,
So-
I think you should help
I'm
us.
big strong lady.
This isn't on. Basically, so the way this works is it's a sort of like a group test. So what we do is we take the thing's strength requirement to pass, and we begin subtracting from that the strength of people assisting. So who is helping, and then of those people helping, who has the lowest strength?
I would be helping.
Is supervising helping?
Are you getting?
Move
Are you
some
rolling your
rocks.
hands up and moving rocks? You don't have to.
I'll like.
And this is everyone committing to it. No one's keeping an eye out
I'm gonna nudge my nudge some gravel.
with your feet.
Yeah.
Why
Okay.
don't you keep an eye out? We
No,
genuinely
so
do need
yes,
someone
I
to keep
guess
an
in
eye
that case I'm keeping an eye.
Okay, all right. So you're going to be keeping an eye.
I'm listening and watching the gaps
Okay.
to make sure what's on the other side.
Sounds good. You think you have the lowest strength?
I think I have the
I forgot
lowest
what I was.
What's your
putting
strength?
on
40.
60.
Okay. All right. So
Oh, you are the
for.
toughest
I'm the
person here.
strongest one. Punch.
Don't you have amazing fighting brawl?
what's
Yeah,
yours,
59.
Yeah, you're pretty
James?
good. 60.
I'm a professional boxer.
Okay. As it is,
Yeah,
you guys
punch the rocks.
barely get it down to even possible.
Yeah.
Edie, you will need an extreme strength test.
Well, we did commit to trying, so I reckon we
Let's
sink a
do
couple of
this.
hours in before we
All right, so
realise
Edie,
that
make a
it's
roll,
useless.
strength roll.
Do this. Let's do this. One. Can I luck this?
Yeah,
One luck and I pass.
you get
Whoa.
a extreme success.
Really? Oh my
Oh,
god.
extreme?
Well done. All right, yeah.
I rolled a
got
14. I got a 13 as my
Yeah,
extreme
so
success.
Jose and Nick set to clearing a rough path, and Edie clambers up to the top, and stone after stone is hurled back down the mountain,
Like Donkey Kong.
passing
What's
away.
What's the Rocky theme? Because I don't know it.
We can't sing it.
Yeah, we're copyright struck or
Everyone
whatever.
just imagine it in your head.
Yeah, thank you. From the top, you hurl down one stone after another, slowly making a passage over the next couple hours, and as your clock ticks towards, you watch dinner time come and go. Eventually, by about 10 p.m., there is enough shape that the four of you could walk through. The car could not make it at this point, though. You would need to spend more time clearing this.
It's late now. We shouldn't continue through on foot. We should sleep here with the
Your
car,
lesson test.
and then maybe tomorrow we can have a look at even getting the car through somehow, or just start walking. Let's make the decision in the morning.
I'm ready to punch rocks.
I get that.
Success 2. I might listen.
Okay, well done. While the gravel's moving, you aren't really able to pick anything up. But once it finally settles and you take a moment or two to sort of quieten everyone, you scramble yourself to the top and you look down and further in. You are confident there is nothing for quite some time. In fact, you hear the occasional echo, but this is a deep, deep cavern. You can hear drops echoing from different passages. This is a massive underground section. You are probably nothing to threaten you for the time being, at least.
It sounds like
Probably.
we would want to take the car then,
Yeah.
if that is the case.
Perhaps. Have we got enough supplies to last us?
Oh, yeah, do we have food?
We think we have at least perishable food, so which will still be good for another day or two. I would imagine.
Do you want to? You've I think recently increased your survival.
Yes.
Do you want to give your survival roll as you begin to consider rationing?
I dropped that, and it was the lower dice. I'm going to re-roll it.
Sure.
It's not a deliberate roll. Hey, that is a success. 20 over 29.
You go into the back. You're pretty sure this food is going to run out within the next day or two.
All right.
You could start rationing now and probably stretch that to another day, and people aren't going to be happy about it. So you probably have tonight, tomorrow, and then you're running out.
Tonight, tomorrow, and then we're running out. And if you start rationing it,
You possibly get another day, maybe, but you've only got perishables left.
all right. Okay, well, I'll come back out and I'll say the supply situation is looking pretty grim. We don't have much food, but I think we still need rest. So we'll have to talk about rationing. I'm very happy to give my rations over to Mr. Van de Ven. And I would suggest...
I don't know if that's the best idea.
No, you need to keep your strength up too. I'll just have half of them. That's fine.
All right.
So are we going down to rations then?
We have no idea how long we're going to be down there.
Seems to me we need a point of no return, and then turn back if we cross it.
Yeah.
That makes
Before we
sense. And we should bring the car. We really should, if we possibly can.
I agree.
We might have to go out to get, more food. Oh my gosh, I don't know if we'll make it back down the mountain with this much food.
Well, we have the town. I'm sure they'd have to feed us if we were desperate.
Well, from what we saw of the patrols with guns.
Yeah. I have some faith in my fellow man.
Yeah, well.
We'll just have to cross that bridge when we come to it.
Okay, let's take a rest then,
All right.
and eat our rations. Okay.
Okay. The four of you get back into the car, and by putting the front seat sort of forward, you can sit in a small section at the back with a couple of windows open so you can hear if anything approaches. The car is turned off, and the couple of cases are sort of like jerry cans of gasoline are pushed. You probably need to refill it in the morning, and then you're beginning to look at either rationing that as well, or leaving it somewhere with enough fuel to get back up and down the mountain. I presume you probably you topped it up from the other car before you left and you filled some cans. So you've got a bit, just not infinite. So I think note. And with that, the lights also go out. And you spend most of the evening in the dark, except for occasionally a torch is turned on just to confirm where something is. Down here it is pitch black when the lights are not on. You can try and start a fire or something similar. Otherwise, you may as well sit there with your eyes closed until you finally, hopefully, go to sleep.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I don't think fire.
No, I don't think fire is a good idea.
Attract attention.
Okay. Alright. You share out some of the food, and Jose has carefully packed away enough so that you're going down to basically 2/3 rations, and there'll be enough for a third day. You eat your food, which was, I think, avocados and strawberries or something.
Well, it's a good
and
meal,
fresh
at
meat.
least.
It's poached salmon.
So, just a thought. We should probably have people keep watch.
Keep an ear out more. Yeah.
That seems sensible.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay.
We're outnumbered.
Divide the night into two. Who wants to take first and who wants to take second?
We could do 4.
You could, but at that point it gets so
think,
minor
yeah,
that it's not
it's-
really worth tracking.
Yeah.
We'll just do 2. You guys can take turns on different days if you
I
need
I
to hit up
think
further.
2 of us should be on different cycles.
Yeah, Jose, you didn't get much sleep last night.
I didn't.
Nor did
Well, why don't
I.
you
Alright,
take first?
I'll stick. No, I'll take first.
Yeah, I'll take first. I'm
Actually, we
fine.
didn't sleep at all last night. I just
Yeah.
remembered.
We can take first. They didn't.
That was 2
sleep.
nights ago.
Oh, okay.
We had one night in the woods where you slept. That was when you
Oh,
woke up
that's
and the
right.
dimensional
Yeah, yeah,
thing
yeah.
was.
That's right.
how I
Oh,
enjoyed
so
it.
we have had sleep.
You had a night of sleep. It
Okay.
was uncomfortable, but you have had one.
In
night
which
of sleep.
case, I'll take one. I'll be fine.
Okay, so you're gonna take one, and you're gonna take one.
take the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, we're just as in just 2 people. Take
Or you can pair up and both do it if you want to.
It's
up to you guys how you want to organize
it.
it.
Should be fine.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take the second then.
And then you can swap out. Edie's driving, and
Yeah.
Van der Ven needs his beauty sleep, or else he gets very cranky. So it's best for everyone. Okay. You're taking first.
Yeah, sure.
Can you give me a listen test?
Okay.
And Edie, can you give me a power test?
What?
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 I don't know what this is. Sorry, give me a second.
Don't tell us.
It's okay. Yeah, I know what it is. It's fine.
Okay, yeah. Don't tell us the result until we get to the end of the night. How'd you go? Listen.
Success.
Okay. Throughout the night, you hear occasionally the creaking of the car and the shifting from your companions within as they get comfortable. Van der Ven kicks something at one point. You sort of start, but there's nothing. It's uncomfortable. Do you ever turn the lights on, or do you spend the whole thing just sitting there patiently?
No, I think I can push through it.
Okay. What are you thinking about during it? Do you try and use your abilities to read over your sister's letter once more, or are you just trying to get through this? Where's your head at?
No, look, I'm thinking about my sister, and like the fact that I need to rescue her and make sure she's okay.
Yep.
But also, there's a reason we came down here to chase down these guys. I'm not pushing that out of my head.
Okay. All right.
Determination.
After a while, you don't have a clock to go on, but you shake José and tap out, and then you roll over and wall. So go to sleep. All right, José, can you give me a listen test, please?
Yeah, that's a pass.
Okay. You're successful. You're confident. Are you making any extra steps to secure those remaining rations? Do you trust everyone here to actually eat their fair share, or are you concerned that you might have to take more severe steps?
No, I trust everyone here.
Okay, so you've carefully divvied them out and you've just left them in the locker, which everyone has access to.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries. All right. By the time you think everyone needs to be up and moving once more, you can hear shaking. People are in lighter sleep. You begin to shake everyone up and awake. Edie, how'd you go on your power test?
Extreme success.
Okay, you are confident. There was something that moved past late at night. As you're dreaming, you went through sort of stranger memories, but all the people were different. The locations were sort of oddly adjusted, but there was a friendly presence there within them and calling to you. It seems to be happy with your progress, eager to see you, and close, always close. By the time you wake up, the others are beginning to stir in emotion. The light's been turned on as you all find your way back to your positions.
I am happy with this information, and
Good.
It doesn't bother me whatsoever.
Excellent. All right, you wake up rejuvenated and feeling kind of a little bit more comfortable, if anything. All right, back in the front seat, you stir the engine back awake. The light floods in, and you're still met by a half-blocked passage. Do you want to spend the time to try and get the car through?
Yeah.
Or are you going to just forge ahead?
Let's do it. Let's
I
just
think
try and
we-
burst through.
We defy you, GM.
Can we not just
You're
drive
getting
over?
this car
Can we
to
not
the
just
center
drive
of
over
the
the
earth.
hill?
I think it's not big
You know what?
enough.
You could now begin to try and sort of get the front tires up and just spin them, kicking stuff out. You could make a hard drive auto test. If you fail, you are going to be damaging things.
Fuck.
Or you can spend the time to keep clearing
My
this.
drive order is pretty good.
Could we
That's
assist
pretty
by
good.
being outside the car and
Like
like being like,
pushing.
all right, move and heave and all
If
the
everyone
rest
works with you, you can have a bonus die.
Yep. I think
Fuck
it's
it.
All right.
This isn't even my car.
It's the
Alright.
fastest way for you to get
Jose
out of
and
here.
Nick hop out the front and with torches try and illuminate a path for you. How'd you go?
Let it be known I did not consent to this.
I'm gonna.
I
can
presume.
I
And
look-
nor help, I presume.
Yeah.
Left hand down. Left hand down.
Wait, I don't. Is that a 6?
That's the
or a 9?
indicators.
Oh my god. That's a 6. So wait, yeah, that's a 6. So I'm just gonna do 1 luck again, and then it's a success too.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay,
oh,
you're doing
hard
pretty well.
success.
Okay, yeah, with your aid, you're able to get one of the wheels up and eventually begins to chew through rocks. You pause at one point and shovel gear in front of it so it can actually bite into it, and eventually it gets over one ledge and then it's beginning to descend down the others. It's kicked some of the smaller rocks back, but make a mental note that if you ever need to travel back up this passage, there is still a block. And I will also make a note.
It's gonna be fine.
All right, from here,
Someone uses emergency aid on the rocks.
from here,
Do not do that.
From here, it's going to be a slow, steady descent. The lights fill the way, and it's easy enough to go, but it's getting tighter and tighter here. Additionally, the murals on the side have faded away or just sort of ended, and now it's just bare rock that is, at different points, pretty easy to get through, but at others it's lower, or a stalagmite is jutted up from one portion. I'm going to need a drive auto test, just normal difficulty,
Just normal? Okay.
to move through this section.
Pass.
Okay.
Just normal pass.
All right.
Well,
Over
pilot.
that day, you descend lower and lower. You've swirled around in different directions, and even if you had a compass, you'd be struggling to pinpoint your direction anymore. Additionally, Van der Ven, your watch seems to be playing funny with you. You check it, and it's just seems to be running slow.
That's preposterous. This is my great-grandfather's watch, with which he started the Van der Ven shipping industry. It kept time across multiple time zones and voyages.
And it was always perfect.
Always
But
perfect.
now as you're looking at it, it seems to be running slow because you spent hours down here. You're all kind of exhausted. And there's a level where it's stressed, but also it just seems to be not quite working. By the time you choose to call it a day, it's reading only like 6-7 hours have passed. But
Yeah,
you're
it feels
all
like longer.
You're all starving. You need to sleep. Edie's sort of trying to push on, but your eyes are falling asleep at the wheel. You'd continue on if you wanted to.
Here's a weird question.
Yeah, sure.
You know, look, Jose is clean. Has a boyish face and is clean shaven, but it's not because he doesn't grow stubble. Can I do like a how long has it been? Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch.
A hirsute test.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appearance.
Really
Appearance!
You want me to make an appearance
Genuinely
check?
hard appearance test. Otherwise, I love it. Yeah, go a hard appearance
How
test.
good
I
is
think
your
that's
beard?
so funny.
That's a pass.
So you got a hard appearance?
I have 35 appearance. I rolled 33.
Yeah.
Over 35.
Yeah. You famously
Wait,
could.
hard
You
though?
can't.
Hard, no doubt. Okay,
Oh,
I'm
no.
going to spend a couple of points of luck.
Okay. All right.
That's so
Yeah,
funny.
all right, great.
Because I could have a go. Appearance 85.
Oh.
Yeah. You
Go
know
on.
exactly
From
where
the
your
shape
hair
of my
goes.
mustache. It's
No.
usually like pencil
And how much
thin.
wax you need.
Yeah.
If it is dried
Yeah.
out. Yeah. With the luck spent, Jose is able to. And as you're looking at the watch and you're sort of just rubbing it, and you have a thought, and as it's grown, it's about. Let's say you shaved it the other night, just for consistency's. Yeah, it's about a day of growth. Time is passing. You're aging.
so
It seems the watch.
The
is a
watch
little-
is the malfunction.
Would be a sign.
Preposterous. Preposterous.
So how long has it been? Has it been a day or?
What is the
You're
clock?
not getting
Yeah,
exact,
it's
but yeah,
been a
you've driven
day.
for about a
What's
day.
the clock on the car say on the dashboard?
Fuel
It's
empty.
still on daylight savings time.
You need it updated.
Well, I mean, look, it's been a day. We should rest again. Have we been passing by like a bunch of tunnels or anything like that? Have we been?
There's been the occasional off-road. I presume you've been keeping an eye out. This seems to be the passage they're taking. You can sometimes you see a cigarette butt which has been pushed into one of the walls. There's sections where you believe they may have camped, which are just little couple of tins stacked up. There has never been any significant detritus, just enough to let you know that you're probably on the same path. It's also been fairly obvious so far. It's the biggest tunnel. There's been some smaller offshoots.
Speaking of cigarette butts, Mr. Van der Ven, I hate to be a bother, but I couldn't possibly.
Oh, no, of course. I carry a generous supply.
And your lighter?
Got the carton.
That'll be fine.
Okay, you can have a smoke.
What are you doing here? This is very suspicious.
Okay, settling back in and going to rest for the night. Everyone.
Well, should we talk about when it's time to turn back? I mean, if the supplies aren't going to last much longer.
You probably got another day.
Well, we got another day then.
We have another day, yes,
Well,
but
if
that
we're-
means we should be leaving in the next day.
No, if we run
we should
out,
be
we'll.
reaching the exit.
Yeah, if we run out, we turn back. If we run out at the end of tomorrow,
But no,
And,
we
yeah,
surely
but-
should be turning back.
I'm agreeing with you, because if we run out at the end of tomorrow, then we have 2 days with no rations before we get back to the top of the entryway.
Yeah.
Unless
And
we
then
go,
we have to get down a mountain.
unless we could go faster coming out than we are making going in.
I mean,
Does
I
that seem
think that's
possible?
totally fine.
Yeah,
You've got
I
some
think we
decent-
gotta risk it.
You've got some right survival skill now. You believe that it would take 2 days without food before you begin to feel effects. That you would have a penalty die on physical tests after 2 days. It would take a week to actually, then it's 2 penalty dies, and then after that you'd actually be beginning to be in danger. If your human body can go a while without food.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll be fine.
less without water. How much water?
Less of that
We
water.
just
You've
put
got
water,
canteens, you've
water.
replenished, and there's the occasional drip. There are some smaller
Yeah.
streams. You might be able to get some stuff through. Might be worth considering filling those.
If I think it's beyond the point where we need to be coy about ifs and whats and everything.
Yeah.
If we get down to the center of the earth, I assume there'll be food there.
And if there's people, there's
Well,
If we run into
if-
the other expedition, would they
Yeah.
have food?
Yeah.
If the cultists are correct, there's a whole second Earth inside this Earth, and there has to be food on the second Earth. Otherwise,
Otherwise, the people wouldn't be down there.
yeah.
Yeah.
unless they did go down and they were all wrong. They didn't bring enough supplies, and they're all dead.
Well, then we'll die with them.
You going through some stuff,
Nicky, you feeling
DeMartino? You
My
okay?
sister is down there.
Oh yeah.
I can't turn around. If you guys do, it was nice knowing you. But I can't stop.
I'm okay for now. You can abandon ship anytime you like.
Well, I
if you
can't
want.
because this is my car.
Oh, well, can you drive?
You
I
got
Van
me
to
there.
van?
You got me there.
More like
It's not
van
that
to
hard. You
car.
just push both feet on the pedals and you.
No.
Oh.
It's
I haven't-
very hard.
I haven't paid much attention
One
to
at
what's
a
going on
time.
down there.
There's only one at a time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you're holding me hostage in my own car, then I guess I have no choice but to follow along.
Yeah.
Hostage is such a dirty word.
Well, it's
I
more
wouldn't
like,
say
Oh, don't worry, it's not the first time.
I can't imagine why.
Oh, boy,
I-
always remembers his first good night.
I'm afraid I have to speak up here. You're not being. It would be a dereliction of my duty if I allowed you to be held hostage.
Oh, let's call it a mutual understanding of implied
Immobilization.
immobilization. Yeah.
Are you firing me?
No.
What?
Okay, good. I misunderstood.
Oh no, it's just well, this time the kidnappers are so agreeable, you just can't help but to like them.
I mean, it's in your best interest.
It is, yes, and your best interest as well. We have to be honest here. I suppose we're all into this together, and there's not much any of us can do about that.
Yep. All right. Well, let's continue on down then.
Okay. The lights are killed after the day of travel, and you go back to sleep. So, can I get listen tests from the two people keeping watch?
Well, sure.
do you
let's
want it to
rotate
be-
the
yeah.
watch.
Sure. And the only other thing I'll flag is: you have one more day of rations after this for tomorrow? Is anyone not eating in favor of someone else eating?
I'll not eat.
Okay.
I will also not eat. I can go a day without.
Problem is, this stuff's gonna perish. You do not have proper rations.
Perish
Someone
unless-
should be eating. I agree, but the avocado is getting very brown.
Okay.
The
Perish
seven
in the
has a.
sense that it's kind of gross, or perish in the sense that it's
It is-
kind of
yeah.
poison.
Yeah, one leading into the other.
I think
Poison,
No,
then it gets
I
kinda-
think the two people who get a full night's sleep should not eat.
That's you two.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll have a little bit of.
Well, then you keeping watch 2 nights in a row. That can't be.
No,
No. They're sleeping.
Right. Yeah.
We're
yeah.
watching, but we're also not eating.
Oh, well,
No.
sacrifices have to be made.
No, you are eating.
Oh, we are eating. Sorry, they're sleeping.
Oh, that'd be
not
fine.
eating. Are you sure there's no like cave mushrooms?
It's pretty barren. Someone could absolutely get out and have a little look around.
Be a
For the
survival
moment,
test. What's your survival?
I can do a little.
My survival is 13.
Well, I mean, I'm still alive.
There's no sense doing it now unless someone's leaving the car
Yeah.
at night while the others are sleeping. But what you could do is the car does not go particularly fast. You could get out, walk beside it, and have a look
Yep.
while we're descending tomorrow.
All right.
Why do you keep wanting us to get out of this car?
Do it. Find out.
Can you weld us in?
I'm not leaving this car.
Get out of the car.
The last time someone left this car,
DeMartino.
he got run over by it.
We just seal ourselves in
Yeah, I'm
and
not
die
getting
in
out
the
of the car.
car. Just lie down and die.
In this
here.
car, having my hand on my pistol
I
the
feel
whole
like
time.
this is going to a dark place.
Let's just lie down and die here, just despite the GM. It's
No,
gonna be hilarious.
I'm just worried about what this cave is doing to our collective mind.
So dark. What was that?
All right. Listen test from Edie. You're taking first watch.
Yes.
Sure. Go for it. Make a listen test for me, please.
Doo-doo-doo-doo. What's my listen? Oh, it's base. I'll spend 11 points of luck.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, the success one.
That's probably enough. Keep the success one. Once again, you are confident that this place is empty. You hear the occasional drip, the shift from your allies, but nothing more. Are you nervous about going to sleep? While you're awake...
you sleep half of it, don't you?
Yeah, and while you're awake, you feel a little more rational about this. You know... Like, you can approach it logically, what you're feeling, and you are kind of aware that something's a kilter here.
Yeah. I want to say, like, it's kind of like one of those, like, forebrain is like, but hindbrain is like, it's fine.
That seems fine. So you're not sweating it too much, not at the moment at least?
Cautiously aware of something being a bit weird, but I'm just, you know what?
Are you taking any steps to document it? Are you writing down in a journal or anything, like, what's happening, so that if...
I'm honestly going to say no.
Yeah.
I just don't think she's the type to document, like field notes and, like,
gasoline
diagrams
stores
and shit,
and how
but
the
not,
cars
like, today I felt anxious.
Yeah. No, fair enough. All right. As the watch passes, nothing of note seems to be happening, and you eventually shake Van der Ven awake. Roll over, and you can take your cue.
Oh, bada bing, bada boom. Sorry. I don't know where that came from.
94 is not a fumble.
No, it's not.
So
But it's
we're
not a
talking
success.
how much luck?
No, listen. How good is your listen?
Push it.
59.
Do you want to push it? Do you want to push
What's
it?
pushing it? Getting out.
Screaming
Thinking I hear something and then getting out of the
using
car.
echolocation.
Yes, you think you hear something scrabbling ever so slightly.
Oh, I can't have scrabblers around
It's
my car.
tiny, and there's a good chance it's just one of your allies scratching along the side as they sort of in the night.
I'm curious enough to have a look.
Nice.
Go ahead and push.
We are actually very good at listening as a group.
Yeah, we're all very good listeners.
Aw,
And you're telling me I
thanks.
can't spend luck on a push roll?
You cannot.
That's
And if you fail it,
bull.
it's very bad.
Oh,
What is your
good?
What is your listen?
Not quite a success 2, but a regular success.
Okay. You hear this scratching a little bit, and in the dark, you manage to pinpoint it. You're getting closer, and suddenly you feel something run over your hand. And you turn a light on, and you find heading towards that final set of rations is a rat about yay big, which is moving towards it. What do you want to do?
Well, that simply won't do. I'll nudge it away.
Oh, you're not going to kill it. You're just going to sort
I'm
of
just gonna like push it with my foot.
get out of here. All right, yeah.
Yeah, scram.
It will leave.
We're from New York. Rats are.
It's like my mom's got 3 rats. Go ahead and give me. I think animal handling is a skill.
To be fair,
Go ahead. You're able to push it away. Just give me a roll anyway to see a
What
general.
am I
score.
rolling?
Animal handling is not by default on the sheet.
I think it's so base 5 then.
Sure.
You know what? It's fine.
Dex?
You're able to.
Oh,
yeah,
natural world.
You're a natural world, I could see.
Natural world.
Yep.
That's
10.
10. I'll take that.
Go for it.
Unless I've got anything else.
Get out of here, you little you bastard!
You got me.
Alright.
Literally rat bastard.
58.
Yeah, look, you're able to sort of shoo it off, and you see it scurry down. It appears there's like holds underneath where you've got stored mainly Enid Blyton novels, but it scurries down under those and returns to silence. Eventually,
I'll do my best to secure the
you
rack.
just push some stuff up against the holes,
Yeah.
and you just kind of hope it
I'll
stays
just
there,
like put a stack of books on top of the case or whatever.
just to leave it there.
Yeah.
And after a while, everyone wakes back up. I'm pissed you passed that.
Why? I hate that.
Um.
Well, I had quite the adventure last night,
I'm marking 1 day without food.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yourself as well.
You'll be pleased to hear I managed to stop a little scavenger thing from getting into our rations.
Oh,
like another person.
Well, no, a rodent about this big.
Oh.
You should have seen it.
that's good.
Well, that's
something.
nice.
We would've-
Did you
wouldn't have-
kill it? We could have had it for like food and stuff.
Jesus,
it might
Oh.
still be
we
under.
pivoted quickly.
Yeah, I'm not above eating rat.
I guess if you're hungry, it might still be under the.
We do
it's
live
just
in
right
we
there.
do live in the Great
But
Depression.
you can see it's still there. It just scurried under those things over there.
Is it still under
I
there?
don't want to touch it.
Yeah, you open it and you see the tail disappearing around the edge. Yeah, it's down there.
Let's hold off eating. Let's hold off scavenging for meat as long as we can. That thing's
what are we gonna cook it with?
that thing's probably riddled with
Don't-
disease.
Yeah.
Do you remember how last time
If you fail a roll, you have to push it with that
the
gun.
forces that be.
I've yet to fail a roll
I'm
on that.
aware, but I'm gonna get it pushed.
Alright, look, we'll leave the rat for now.
You
Let's
missed
just
the rat.
let's all get back in the car where we know we're safe. Back in the car.
You were in the car to begin
Let's
with.
bring the rations in with us if the rat can't get it while we're driving.
Holding on to ration. Yeah.
Can you imagine if you tried to shoot the rat, you
I'm
missed, and you hit Jose?
Yeah, but
'Cause it
I'm
wouldn't
not
be
gonna do
anyone
that.
else.
Like, why would I? Who would do that? Who would accidentally hit?
I
their
mean, in
ally?
fairness, a rat's small. It could be missed. It's not like something massive like a
Like a bear. and I'm hitting it with a gun rather than, I don't know, a car.
a truck.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
So do we have like essentially a day and a half more food, right?
Yeah. I mean, you have one more day of rations for 2 people, so it's up to you to decide who's
okay.
gonna eat them and who's gonna go without.
Okay.
Oh.
You two are both marking one day. You could take it now and reset everyone. They'd be a day ahead and you'd be behind, or you can try and divvy it.
I'd feel better if we were all on the same page.
At rationed, we should have one more day, I believe. We started rationing when we slept at the rock slide.
Yeah. You
Then
said
we
we'd
went
have
one
3
day
days.
further
Good call.
in,
You have
and
one
we
more.
rationed. So we had a
Stand
half
corrected.
day and a full day.
I can stand corrected. Thank you.
1.5 days.
Or 4 half days. No. 2.
That's already on the 1.5
okay.
days, basically.
Yeah. 3
Alright.
half days.
6, 7, 8 of a day.
If we get specific, which we will.
One person
we are-
eating rations.
6 avocados, 1 brown, 1 medium brown, 1 Blair.
All right. You keep rolling forward. You've refilled the vehicle, and you're descending lower now. This whole thing feels like there's more weight down here. You don't know if that's realistic or if it's just like an illusion. The darkness is beginning to get you as well, and you're kind of adapting to that gloom. Where the light hits the road, it's almost like quite blindingly clear, but then the outskirts, the murky edges where you can just see shadows sort of bleeding in, feel a little bit more comfortable gazing at those, and oftentimes you just spend hours with your eyes closed as Edie continues navigating down.
Can I make said survival check to see if I can
Go for
spot
it.
anything?
Are you getting out and walking alongside the car to test closer? The beams focus forward.
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
Fail.
Okay. Didn't push it?
No.
Fine. You keep an eye out as you go down, but this place is pretty basic, and you're fairly deep at this point. There's not enough, really. Whatever natural requirements there are for mushrooms, they don't seem to be here.
Alright, I get back in the car.
Fine. After a while, it's leveled out a little bit, and then suddenly the ground isn't being picked up by the beams, and there's just black for a moment. Edie, can you give me a drive auto test?
Hit the brakes.
As you lean over and slam on the brakes, shaking yourself out of the sort of half days you've been in from just
God.
monotonous.
Damn it, I failed. It's not a fumble.
Do you want to
Push
push it,
it.
or would you like to
How
lock
much
it?
luck you got?
There's not enough luck in the
You
world.
skid
sideways.
Just for what it's worth, at this current thing, you're risking this thing going to the edge and then dropping down and possibly dealing some damage. You're unlikely to lose the whole thing. You'll just have to figure out how to get it back and not touch it. Pushing it is going to be like swerving to the right rather than braking, and you risk
And
just the
hope
whole
you don't
thing going
roll it.
over the side.
I don't really want to push it.
Okay, all
I
right.
don't
Yeah.
want to risk
you
the
should.
car. You think I
I
should?
think it'd make it for a good story.
I mean, it'll also be funny us trying to level this car kind of back because we're not abandoned.
I will get this car from you.
It's your call. You're driving.
I'll
may take
push
our
it.
car.
I
You're
am
gonna push
also
it?
in the camp of. I don't think we should push this.
I don't think we should push.
Are you pushing it?
It's your call.
I don't want to. No, I don't want to. I don't want to. No.
Okay, all right.
You may take
You
a
slam on the brakes, and the whole thing sort of like freezes up and skips forward just a moment. And with a sickening lurch, the front drops down over the edge of a ravine. You pull the handbrake up, and it stops moving. You were not going very fast, but what it's looking down at is a emptiness and then a cliff on the distant side, which you are now sort of peering over. Spores of dust and things fill the vision, and you take a shattering breath as you barely stopped yourselves from plummeting thousands of feet down and away. The doors on the front, the passenger and driver, if opened, are looking out over nothing, and no one is moving for the moment because any motion, any changes in weight could send this whole thing tipping over.
Both of you get into the back.
Everyone
Careful.
lean back,
Yeah,
lean back,
yeah.
lean back.
All right, Are you good
We
moving to the
just
back?
lean our chairs, like go like that.
It's not a crate. It's probably a good idea to start with. Are you going to try and move your way to the back?
Yeah, but I think the people at the back should move even further to the back to start with.
It's a good idea. Can we like start moving everything to the back to give as much weight as possible? Like we have the fractions with us. 3 avocados and a piece of salmon. Put that at the back.
And I actually think Edie should stay where she is.
So that she doesn't have to get back in.
Well, yeah. So she
also, what's your
reverse.
size, Edie?
Oh, I'm 45.
Okay, so
I'm
not too
fairly
big.
small.
What's your size, DeMartino?
40.
Okay, both of you are actually not too heavy,
Yeah.
so it's not a bad thing. You begin to drag some of the things and move them to the back when you hear a from something on the roof. As just for a moment, the feet of the bathtub scrape a little bit further forward, and the whole thing tilts slightly as you scramble backwards, and you're now leaning against the back door. With time, these wheels are going to slowly skid forward. You cannot stay here indefinitely. What are you guys doing?
Can I make a size check to stabilize the vehicle?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Make a size test.
I will use luck.
Okay,
But yes.
to a success.
Yep.
How much
How much luck?
3 for 8.
Okay, so this thing is cantilevered off the edge of a cliff.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got
currently.
4 luck.
We're trying to just get the back wheels
Fucking-
onto. If we can get the back wheels on the ground.
Okay, so this is the car.
You are currently stable. You've gotten yourself to the back, and you are leaning against the double doors that open out, and sort of holding yourself as far back as you feasibly can. You have done enough that it is now no longer going forward at all, but you have not solved the problem.
Okay, so I'm gonna just stay here because I think I'm the heaviest,
Yeah.
and I leave it to the rest of you to decide what we're doing now.
It's going to
Alright.
be a dexterity test. You two are in seatbelts and in the front. Clambering over without accidentally going forward would be dexterity to just move weight backwards and never forwards.
I would like to do that. I think you should reverse the car.
Yeah, keep the wheels spinning backwards so that if they touch the ground, at least it'll get pulled back.
We can pull. Yeah.
The wheels are currently on the ground at the back,
Alright.
and then the undercarriage is on the ground at the front. Those are the 2 points.
Yeah.
Wheels,
Do you
and then it's down at an angle. There.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, well, I'm going to try and reverse the car very slowly.
Okay.
Okay, do you
Are
wanna
you
wait?
doing the both at the same, or
Do you want to wait until I move
Get
into the
out.
back?
Yes.
okay? Make a dexterity test, and just before you do that, you're getting ready to reverse. Are you doing anything?
I guess I'd like to try to get out.
Okay.
What?
No? Oh, because then if I'm... Okay,
If you get out, there
Yeah,
could be
yeah,
a
yeah,
lurch
yeah,
from
yeah.
it. You could try and do it carefully.
I think you come on.
I think
Can
so
I
you
get
need to
towards
stay.
the back? Yeah. Let me.
You're gonna
try and do
that.
what,
Go ahead and
Jose
make a
did.
size test as well. I'm gonna say this one's hard. Failing is not making anything worse. Fumbling is, but only a hard success will actually add to the stability because he's pretty much got the back portion of it.
I got 90 points of luck.
What's it for, if not? What's your size, by the way?
55? It's still a success. It's a regular success. Wait, you want it with
Hard success will
yeah.
add to it. Success 1 is you have not made things worse, and you're out of the way for DeMartino to come through.
So...
That's like 20 points of luck.
We're
That's not that
talking
much.
19 points of luck?
Yeah.
I can
That's not
afford
much.
that.
Stabilize this. Crunk,
Uh,
crunk.
DeMartino, you can roll with a bonus die. Make a
Okay.
dexterity test.
Make a dex chest. My dex is not terrible.
Yeah.
That is a success 2.
Okay, nice.
Or a
Yeah.
hard success.
All right, DeMartino slides the chair backwards, unbuckles his seat, and then just pulls himself over it, landing on the ground, and then with a couple of kicks with his feet is at the furthest back point. Edie, if you want to, you can make a hard drive auto test. You have a bonus die from everyone being at the back and putting their weight down.
This is such the end of a movie. Like the
Yeah,
cars.
the car's teetering.
Let's hope it's... Oh, wait. Before you roll, you've been given a helping
Oh.
hand
Is
by
that an
Art.
extra?
So you have a bonus
Oh.
die if you want to use it at any point during this session.
You can have 2 bonus
You can have
dice.
2 bonus die if you want to.
Yeah,
You can have two.
I would
has.
save the extra bonus die for when we need to try and jump this car.
Yes.
No, I agree, because my
Is
jump...
that the right
we
one
save
to
the
lose?
car?
Oh, okay, I see what you've done.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was.
And the bathtub?
I don't even... No, I grabbed the wrong thing.
Don't we have an extra bonus die for the bathtub right
You
now?
do. There is a helping hand for the bathtub.
That is
If anyone
saving-
ever attempts to help the bathtub, you can
This
use it.
is
I would say
saving-
this.
Saving the car is saving the
I
bathtub.
would say that would apply if you want to use it. I'm making that bathtub one indefinite as well. It's for forever. The bathtub is a store of helping hands.
No, that's...
No, you get one,
we get
but it
one.
doesn't run out at the end of the session because it's so
Right, gotcha.
niche.
Alright,
Yeah.
yeah. This is saving the bathtub. I think we should use the bathtub in hand.
Use the bathtub helping hand, yeah. So you'll get.
Why is this saving the bathtub exactly?
Because if we lose the car,
Can't
we
we
lose
lose
the
the
bathtub.
If we lose the car, we also lose me.
And all we're saying is, what's important is the bathtub.
So both you and the bathtub are in the car.
That's
You
what
and the bathtub
Yeah.
have a helping hand.
So
don't
say
use-
your
just to
helping
get us
hand.
back to the beginning,
Use the
Edie,
bathtub helping
it is a
hand.
hard drive auto test. You have a bonus die. You have 2 optional bonus dies, one given to you by Art, which you can use at any point this session, and a second one given by Pasta Muncher, which is only to be used for preserving the bathtub's life.
Which is right now.
And so what I'm doing is I'm rolling to see if I can safely reverse the car
That's right.
back.
If you succeed this one, you are back and off the crevice.
What are you using?
All of
He's
them.
using all of them.
I rolled a 20. I rolled a hard success.
Hard success. Okay, yeah.
Oh.
With everyone in the back, the tires spin for just a moment, then catch, and the front wheels begin to roll their way back up the edge of the cliff, and then you dial back away another healthy few feet as you find yourself exhaling for the first time in the last sort of 4 minutes, and feeling a little bit faint-headed, and the lights are now pushing back at the ground.
I just want to say that I rolled 80, 80, 50, 20.
All right,
so
well, you needed
needed
it. You needed it. That's good. That's
Thank
good.
you, Art and Pastor Muncher.
You have saved the bathtub.
You've saved the bathtub and Edie, which
And I
is
guess the
like-
players.
Yeah,
Alright.
that's-
As you roll backwards and sort of reversing around, you can see that before you is a large ravine, a canyon. And on the other side, the lights can just pick out the other face and a couple of different tunnels descending further down. Here, though, these massive stalactites that have risen to meet stalagmites, which have risen to meet stalactites from the highest point, dot the surrounding area. This is the largest cavern you've been in so far. Additionally, now that the car's backed away from the edge and is pointing in a different direction, you can see one of the stalactites has been felled, likely using dynamite, to land across the ravine and be used as a makeshift bridge.
Well, that'd be fine.
Crossing that on foot would likely be a dexterity check. Crossing that in a car would be fairly difficult.
No, fuck
But
this.
jumping the car over the ravine
It is.
would be.
It is a
No.
reasonably. It is a big ravine and you have no ramp.
You
But
can-
I would
you
love
can
you to
do
build a
that.
ramp. Edie, remember you have one use of a sort of a. I think we were going to do like you can go up a wall or something with it.
Oh my
Basically,
God.
that's there for you to be used. Otherwise, you can go and have a look around the area. But what are you guys all doing? What's the immediate? It's been about a third of the day. There's probably only a few hours in.
This feels
really.
like it's a massive open cavern, right? Or is it just like a
Yes.
ravine?
No, it's big. It's big.
Okay.
This is a large open area. You can feel the wind actually does whistle through this a little bit. This leads out at some point.
Can we see the ceiling?
And there's a large ravine. Heading out and clicking on the torch and shining it up. Yep, you can see where the stalactites hang down at least. The actual ceiling is hard to make out. And you can see occasionally like as something's moving up there.
I hate that.
Yeah.
It's
Or a
probably
spot
just
hidden?
bats.
To
Go for
spot
it.
what's
Make a spot
moving?
hidden test.
Meanwhile, could I make a spot hidden test too? They were here, they camped here, they set up explosives. Maybe they left a sandwich behind.
Yeah, you can use it this one. Make a spot hidden test. What are the two of you doing while this happens?
How far away is this felled stalactite?
Yeah, it's
Not that far.
Felled column. Is
I,
that-
I think Jose's heading over to it. You could drive the car over as well. Or you could just.
so is there like a big sort of open thing where
It's
you
not
can drive?
massive,
Yeah.
but yes, there's enough you can navigate the car. You're along the edge and you're being a little cautious to keep a healthy distance between the drop, but there's space to.
Or we could
maneuver.
just walk to the
Yeah,
thing. It's
easily.
not that far away.
No.
Is it? No.
No, it's like a few meters. It's like a.
I would.
15 minutes.
Yeah. I'll also. I want to go over and inspect. I
just-
guess
yeah,
inspect the column.
I
I
want to
don't
see
know
how
why.
wide
I
it
just-
is.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to do the same. I want to see how wide it is.
Okay, so you're gonna head the. Are you gonna leave the car here?
Yes.
the moment?
I'll stay and guard the car
Okay.
from rats.
With the lights on the car, they're facing at the column, and then the two of you have the two personal torches.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you go? On the
Hard
roll?
success.
Hard success for searching the area.
Searching specifically, I'm searching for anything that the previous voyages might have left behind.
Go for it. Perfect. And yourself?
14 points of luck so that I can see what the hell is moving up.
Okay, all right, you got a success. You're looking. Can you make an engineering roll, I guess, for the stability of this area? And DeMartino, what were you doing, sorry?
I'm looking out for rats and stuff and guarding the car.
Yeah, okay. Go at listen test maybe, because the lights aren't on in this area necessarily.
Oh, why are these both? Sorry, these are both. Oh wait, no, they're not.
All right.
What was I
You
doing
head
in
over
engineering?
towards the Feld section, and you can find they definitely camped here, possibly for a couple days. There's a section where a small, stove was probably lit. You can see burn marks below it, and there's a pile of cans, all opened and half eaten, but they clearly weren't rationing very cleverly. They probably have shitloads. There's a good chunk of food in these, but it's all scraping the edges with a spoon of tuna cans. It's not luxury, but at this point,
Say what to the two people who haven't eaten in a day?
yeah, it's probably pretty good. Finally, with a hard success, you can find around the edge near some of the tins, probably forgotten, are 2 sticks of dynamite.
Oh, hello.
Write those down.
Pass me one of your cigarettes.
Edie, how did you go?
Success 3 on my engineering.
Okay. Felling this was...
I rolled a 6. 6 under 12.
They did a pretty good job of felling this. They likely broke it from the highest point so that it wouldn't just shatter when it fell, and then basically like felling a tree, they weakened the side they wanted it to fall towards, and then blew the remaining section. They also chose a stalagmite wide enough that once it fell, even if it broke a little bit, it was still going to hold the area. You are confident with a success 3, right? And with the dynamite, you could possibly fell another one, allowing an easier path with the car. There's quite a few of them around. You could try and sort of angle them and get a flatter road to put a wheel on each across. Otherwise, it's stable enough that you're pretty sure you could walk it. But you'd have to leave the car behind at the moment. Listen test?
Failed miserably.
Okay, yeah, you're not sure about anything. As you guys are all looking around, Vandervan looks up, and for a moment, would a bat be relief or not relief?
At this point, I'd be good with a bat.
Okay, it's relief for a moment, because you see sort of like 2 wings as something lowers down, flapping occasionally, and it sort of inverts as it drops, and then when it levels back out, it's A, big, like this wide wingspan, which isn't massive, some bats can get bigger, and B, its central portion where its torso exists is furred and typical, but its head is a long serpent sort of body ending in a head with 2 fangs that are open and a crescent moon shape right on its forehead as it drops down and begins to coast towards you. Can you give me a sanity test, please? As I say, this strange creature.
Snake bat. Some kind of strange creature, I wonder.
Snake bat?
Snake bat?
53 will do it. I'm good.
Okay, you're not going to take any, but it is weird and gross and bad.
Snake bat.
I'm preparing to shoot a snake bat diving bombing towards me. Everybody cover your ears.
Wait,
And you're going to shoot?
is that what you...
I'm
Is it level the
preparing.
gun?
There's that whole statement.
And you've got a shotgun cage. I am preparing to shoot a snake bat. Cover your ears. Boom.
That's
Alright.
what I'm doing.
So you're going to... Sorry,
When it's in range.
Alright, you...
Is it like dive?
Yeah, it's
bombing?
coasting towards you. You're also remarkably calm. You load, you check the shells, you break the chamber, you check the shells, you snap it shut. You've got the torch in your mouth. And
Right,
then-
it's just like a hunting expedition.
yeah, and then you just fire. Make a fighting brawl. A firearm
I'm
shotgun
waiting for
fighting brawl.
I'm waiting for my best chance of success.
Yeah, go ahead and roll with a
to be clear.
bonus die. It's small and flying towards you though. You're probably gonna just get the 1 bonus die, unfortunately.
Ugh. It's actually
But
disorienting to do
for
this.
range, for damage for a shotgun,
You can take the full damage
get
if
the
you want.
extreme?
If you want to wait. If you want to wait until it's close enough, but then if you miss and it survives, it's gonna bite your neck.
Was that game where everyone has to touch your nose one by one, or you lose?
Yeah.
So someone touches their nose,
Oh,
and then yeah. I felt like that with the. I looked up and the
But
two
then
of you
everyone's
were
covering their
covered.
eyes,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh no.
Alright, I'm gonna wait till it's really close.
Okay,
I'm gonna
alright.
get max damage.
All right, make a firearms
Okay.
check. You have a bonus die.
Very nice.
Very nice.
1. I'll give you 1 point of luck to make that hard.
Okay. All right.
Boom.
Yeah. That's definitely gonna connect. Go ahead and roll damage.
was
We're talking
underwhelming.
3d6, I believe.
Oh yes,
Or
I think
66.
46 from that close range.
Can you use luck on
46.
combat rolls?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can use luck. No, you can't push them.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, my bad.
That's all right.
There you go.
Sorry, I'll remove my dice.
No, Jim, we're not sharing dice.
Oh,
in this
yes.
current
Yeah,
modern
man.
era.
Jeez, jeez. Get away
We
from
gotta
me.
isolate our dice. Sorry, that was very rude. Your dice are fine, I'm sure. Please. Alright, that could have been worse. We're talking 15.
Oh yeah, it's so dead.
Hey!
there's just a mist, and then a thud as you step to the side. Oh look! It splatters into the ground. The wing's broken, and it's still relatively in shape though. It blocked one of the damage, so 14 absolutely kills it. Yeah, it's dead.
Hearing the shot.
As you shot as well from above, you can actually, as things are moving higher up, startled. They're not diving yet, but they are disturbed and flurrying around. You probably don't want to linger too long though. But everyone hears the shot and sort of covers their ears for a
We
moment.
should decide now whether we're taking the car or proceeding on foot. I don't think we're quite welcome in this cavern. By snake bats.
We've got the dynamite. Can you drive it across?
Wait, what?
We've got the dynamite. If we blow down another.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I guess if we're quick about it.
All right. Okay. Which stalactite is best, or might is best?
I would have assessed that, I guess.
Yeah, so what we're going to need, let's do an engineering test. We'll set the mood for the evening. That's how likely this is and whatever. It's going to need a climbing test to get to the highest point and secure that, and then a demolitions collective to place it and blow it and send it over.
Right.
Edie, you can do engineering and demolitions. I think is kind of your school.
Look, if we end up failing, not getting this off,
we just
walk.
We just
leave
walk.
the car
The
here.
two of you keep a watch out for these things if they come back.
Yep.
And I'll toss you the 2 spare bullets that I keep
Thank
for
you
you.
very much.
You grab everything you can from the back of the car that we need.
Okay.
Oh, just in case.
Yeah.
All right.
Get
Do you
the
want to give me a
pets.
survival test then for the 4th of ever to see if you can grab the useful stuff?
Yeah.
You grab the rations and some other stuff, but remember, it's literally half books and things. 80 engineering test first, and then climb test from you, Jose. I think you're the one who's going to do it.
Oh my
What are you
God.
doing, William? Are you keeping your gun out for any
I'm
of these
keeping my
things
guy
die?
out. I'm also trying to kind of split my attention to get to drag the snake bat to the car to join the bear
Oh,
trophy.
God.
Oh yeah, I think you just lean over and you've got it in one hand. It's weird to feel.
Yeah.
And as soon as you hold it up, it's the whole thing is cold-blooded, despite some of the mammalian sort of shapes. And you've got it crooked over, like ducks on a hunter's arm, or crooked over the edge. You've got it like that as you walk back. Can you give me a spot hidden test to track if any of them are getting closer? I guess survival for loading up the gear,
You
but
crit?
it's just a jump.
You
I
bastard.
actually probably won't.
Yeah.
I'll probably also keep
Just
a
keeping an eye.
lookout.
Go a spot hidden as well.
Yeah.
Edie engineering. How'd you go?
Pass.
Okay, pass. You're good. You've got one. It's close.
Yeah.
If you can succeed all, you're good.
Hard success.
Okay, you get think like a belt or something around the back, and you Mulan your way up the whole
hell yeah.
stalactite, getting to the top.
Oh wait,
And
that's
the
also
man has been made out of you.
Oh,
I
the
think.
weird bat thing.
You get to the top, and you've got one of the dynamite sticks. You put it in the belt, lash it closed, flick a match onto it, and then slide down to the base. You land with a thump. And Edie, can you make a demolitions test to place the final charge and angle the exploding stalagmite?
Demolition's not that good. Oh my god, I passed.
Okay.
Oh my
yeah.
god!
How did the two of you go on your spot hidden?
This is a long-awaited sequel to my 100 from earlier. This time, 0-1.
Oh, okay. I was really waiting to bite you in the neck. But, all
Well,
right, fine.
no,
Yeah.
excuse me.
This is
well
the
done.
last 2
how'd you
sessions.
go?
I feel like we fumble.
This has
fumble
been
our
a
way.
great
This has
roll.
been good. We're just
Yeah. I'm gonna use luck to go down to a success 1.
Okay, yeah, as you're both looking at it, and as the explosions of the dynamite go off, one then shortly after the other to send the whole thing careening down, all of these creatures are disturbed. You see them begin
I
to
see.
flock around, and then a couple dive towards you, and it's basically like ducks in a sky. You begin to just angle up, and
I have 1 shot left. I'm not.
you're not
that
shooting.
Inclined to shoot, but with a success, like with
Yeah,
0-1,
with a crit. All right, in that case, so then you just dive back into the car, slam everything closed, and you can hunker down as they're beginning as these two turn and run towards the car. Do you want to make a firearms check? Do you want to clear a path? These two are running, and you can see things beginning to swoop towards them. Can you both make dexterity checks to just power towards the car before you get swooped?
Yeah.
Do you want to make a firearms check?
Fire check to just clear
Let him
things
roll
behind
first.
them and like suppressing
Yeah, one
fire.
gets close, you
essentially.
Could I argue a
You roll
dodge
first?
test? I'm significantly
Oh yeah,
better at
definitely.
dodge.
Dodges. You can dodge your dex.
Does pop fluid not imply like infinite ammo?
You know what? Because we're short on supplies in this one,
Yeah.
no, but we might be able to find some later or
Very
something. I'm
good.
sure you can figure
Alright,
something.
I'll
Because
keep
yeah,
my
good,
2
good
rounds.
call.
Dexterity check.
Or dodge, up to you, yeah. How'd you go?
I got a success 1.
Okay. Damn, I really want that fail. Alright,
Oh, push.
one of you can roll with a bonus die if you need it.
Can I luck this?
You can just go ahead and roll with a bonus die first.
Oh, if you can
What are
luck
you
it,
pointing
maybe
at,
let
Ryan?
me roll with the bonus die. No reason.
Oh no.
I can lock it. Can
Okay.
I lock it?
Yeah, go for it.
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
you send luck as they're swooping towards you. You clear out. One dives for Jose's head and right over his ear.
So I'm yelling out, freeze, NYPD!
From 88 to 18, which
Oh,
is
well done,
a
okay.
hard success for me.
Okay, all right. Running forward, Edie gets in first and just dives through the passenger window, like scrambles across the drivers and begins to buckle herself in. As one swoops towards Jose, you fire off, get it clean in the neck as it just like slams into the ground, and Jose leaps into the back. The doors are shut, and then there's a pelting like hail as these things slam into the side of the van, and then a couple begin to angle up and
We do
over
that like
the edge
Chris
and away.
Rollins thing. Roll them up, roll them up!
With the dust settling and the bat snake things beginning to separate, you can see with the beams across where it crumbled and stuff, there's a little ramp up and onto the side of it, and hey, you got a bridge. I need a hard drive test to cross it.
Oh, motherfucker.
I've crossed off one of my dynamite. Do you want me to cross them both off, or have I just used one?
Yeah, use both. There's one at the top, one at the bottom, surely.
Did you get any like over successes?
I got hard on the climb, so it could have been a great position.
Yeah, I think you probably need both. I think you're tapped,
No worries.
unfortunately.
Tapped on dynamite.
But we have a car, so...
Yes.
Well-
Right. And this car is dynamite.
The dynamite got us to keep the car. That's all.
Yep.
Can I make a spot hidden roll or some sort of a roll to guide her across, or a firearm roll to suppress the amount
The
of bats
bats?
in the area? I just want to have a chance at maybe giving her a bonus.
I
die.
get you. I don't think either of those are going to do it, though. I can see engineering for stability. Unfortunately, all of these are kind of Edie's skills.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything you could...
I bumped my drive because I succeeded a drive last session. So technically, I am able to drive. Can I be saying, careful, back?
I will pay that. What's your drive skill at?
I bumped it by 2 from base, so it is 22.
Okay. You know what?
pretty good.
You did bump it.
Yeah.
Yes,
that a
Edie, you can
bonus?
have a bonus die.
Oh.
As Nick, you get into the back, and I think you are still doing the same. You've got the window down.
Take this, you filthy bats!
How are we looking?
Yeah, no, that's an extreme success.
Extreme.
What is it?
Yeah, I rolled a 4. I rolled
Nice.
84 and 4.
All right. Yeah, the
Well,
car
we're
gets
not this
on the
lucky.
edge.
What has happened?
And the whole thing is angled inwards, like because it's two basically pillars, and the wheels occasionally sort of slip down, but never enough to actually go off. And eventually, you move over it. For a point, you're in the center, and you can hear sort of like creaking, and one side cracks down as the whole thing shifts under you. But you move away, and as you get down onto the other side, you have not broken the bridge, and it's still behind you on the return as needed.
Things never go this well. We have proof. Watch the rest of the series.
Watch literally the first
lighting
episode.
things on fire.
I'm gonna
and
get this
dying.
fucking car.
No, you're not. This car is ours now.
I'm just making up encounters at this point.
Honestly,
yeah.
you can take our car, but you'll never take our buff.
Yeah.
You carry it like a turtle. All right. Heading on from here, we're kind of like riding the high of the other side. You're in the back with your bear, which is beginning to smell a little bit, and your bat creature thing, though. But hey, that's great.
Bat snake.
Wait, you
Give
didn't
me-
skin the bear. Do we have an entire bear in the back
Yes.
seat?
Oh, I know a guy in New York. He'll do an excellent
I
job.
just
Yes.
realized
For food-wise, I feel like we rolled something last time and already dicked that up. Do you just have a
yeah.
trophy, or you do have the full bear?
I think you have a trophy for
I
the
think
man.
it was the trophy.
I feel like I skinned it.
I feel like if you.
I don't think you
take the
successfully skinned it. I think you may have
entire
taken a
thing-
trophy because I think we've had that thought,
Yeah.
like, oh my god, that's so much food.
Also remember him rolling weirdly well on the on
Getting the trophy
on
specifically,
getting
I
the trophy.
think.
I remember
Yeah.
knowing.
I think unfortunately you may just have the bear.
All
I
right.
think
the
I
trophy,
Don't I just
trophy,
have the
trophy.
skin? I just want the skin.
Yeah.
Oh, you just want the
Yeah, sure. It's like a
Because you
bursting
only need the
rug.
skin to tax
Yeah, that's fine. You could definitely have that. All right,
What
you
do you
have this.
think, Jose? Like a statue, a taxidermy, or a rug?
I think a blanket for your bed.
Oh, that'd be fine.
That in your dreams it will protect you.
Ah, I like that.
Meanwhile, there's still bats everywhere.
You also, Van de Ven, killed the first thing, so by rights it's yours to name.
Oh,
Discovery holds no water. You can take a moment to consider it, but that is
to name the snake bat.
Bat der Ben.
Yeah, that's good. Van.
He's just in the back looking at it.
Van
Van
der
der Ben.
Stop.
Van der Ben.
Watch out! It's
No.
As you hear, there's all signs of the wind. It's a vander. It's fine.
It's a batterban. It's a batter snake. No.
All right, over
Oh,
this.
I like that. Yeah,
No,
batter
stop.
snake.
All of this.
Or
Shut
a
up.
snake bat.
Shut up. I'm
Snake bat.
focusing on this
Right.
bridge.
So,
I will pull this car.
we've
off.
uncovered an entire colony of snake-bats.
Alright, great, snake bats. Apparently, according to Pastor Muncher, you fumbled the skinning check, but I gave it to you because you threw out a whole bunch of useful supplies, which sounds consistent. So if anything, it lost you food,
Very good.
which I think may be the case.
Thank you, Pastor Muncher. The truth teller of that.
Why is
I think
Van
that's
the way
right.
that he is?
All right, moving from here, and that actually only took you're still in the first half of the day. You begin to move down through one of the tunnels, and now you're seeing murals. I'm beginning to appear again on the walls. A lot of these have been damaged, but they're those same motifs: snake on one side, tentacles on the other.
Do the snakes
Additionally,
resemble the snakes of the snake-bats at all?
make a
Natural world.
natural world or
This is
Cthulhu
decidedly
mythos or
unnatural.
Can I make it a
Oh! 05 is a success too on natural world.
oh wow, well done.
Out
You
of-
can take that.
Yeah,
Out
make sure
of
you
a
tick it.
Base 10.
All right. Yeah. As you're going through, you
Of
sort of
course, I'm going to increase my natural world.
Yeah.
I just discovered and named
Yeah.
an entire new species.
you're
off on
holding up.
another tangent again. You're like, I'm gonna find loads of species. I'm gonna name them all something or something.
As you're holding up your snake to bat, or was it bat or snake?
Snake
I think it's
bat-
interchangeable.
Yeah, it's either. It's the same thing. Well, no, snake to bats are snakes with bat wings on the ground.
Well, those weird many-legged cats that we saw
Oh,
when we said
that's
we could
true.
call them octopus. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. That's already an animal.
Vanderven, you notice that while the snakes, snakes are snakes, they seem to have slightly triangular heads, and that kind of matches up. And the other thing is you can see, scattered within this motif, that crescent symbol. There's like a white crescent on their forehead. That is in the motif in different points. Yes, it appears that these are somehow related.
Would it
There's
behoove me to give you 4 points of luck for an extreme success?
probably would not behoove you. It's
Then
quite
by
too
all
needed.
means.
But you can see that there is a tie between them. So, as you're going through this area, you're now beginning to see there are arches in the wall at different points, made from that same sort of blue stone you saw earlier, but they've all been boarded up by stones. However, some of them are opened, and then the path goes that way, but also could go that way. I'm going to need a track test to
dear.
keep going.
Oh no, you're actually okay at tracking.
I'm pretty
No,
good.
I'm
I'm going to fail this because I said I'm pretty good. I'm terrible at tracking. I'm awful. I've
That's
never
the way.
succeeded a roll in my life.
Didn't work.
Has to go with your first answer, I'm afraid. That
Let's talk about pushing.
Okay. You think you can tell the way out. You're beginning to think you can actually smell fresher air. It smells a
Fresher
little
air?
different. It's not quite like the surface, but it smells different to the stale air. It's, however, not the same direction that you think they may have gone. It's doubling down. If you fail, it'll just take more time. You'll probably get them eventually. If you go in the wrong direction, you may lose that path.
I'm going to go back and I'm going to share this with the others. It's reasonable to say.
fine.
I think they went the wrong way. I think that we can get around
yeah.
and I can smell fresh
Yeah.
air in that direction. Otherwise, it's just a guess. We could be heading in the wrong direction. What else do we do?
We have.
Like, we don't have a path that we're kind of following at this stage. We're
No,
genuinely
you're like,
searching.
there's a bunch of options.
So it's a flip of the coin, or I think I can do it.
The fresh air just seems the most promising. I mean, wouldn't there just be more likely to be stuff there?
I think that it's not worth taking this shortcut. I don't know.
It's not really a short. Well, otherwise we don't know where we're going. We don't have a main path. I have an idea that's this way, which I think is a shortcut, probably. Otherwise,
Well, when you put it like that,
I mean,
we've only got one option,
Yeah,
yeah?
we may as well just follow what you think.
This place is hardly natural with the carvings and whatnot. And it seems like anything different indicates people. And people is what we're down here to find.
could we get a little bit of information by the collection of you having a look at these
murals on the walls. Maybe you could piece something together from them.
Can I make another occult check? Or
Good.
is that
You're gonna be again. It's probably gonna be a couple hours of like going through
I
things.
did notice the crescent symbol matches the one on the far.
I don't think it's worth. I don't think it's worth spending the time.
All right, Matt. Let's do it.
What's up to you? You're the tracker.
Yeah.
I think I can do it.
Pushki.
Yeah.
Do you want me to signal you privately what I got? So
Go ahead for it. But I do like the idea.
Oh, is that right?
What?
No.
I'll just take your car if you fail.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Well done. All right.
Hard success.
Yay!
Well done, dude.
Sorry, not hard success. Regular success.
But it was
I
hard
regret
to
not
get.
taking you up on that. That would have been fun, actually. I can immediately see why that would have been interesting. Doubling down and moving away from the most obvious path that would have been taken, you follow your nose, which eventually begins to be supported by your eyes. The lights of the car begin to be diffused with a strange sort of blue glow, and columns of like basalt rock which support the ceiling and making this area more stable are carefully maneuvered through as the air begins to get more breathable and your hearts begin to race. Eventually you can see light spilling into the cavern. As you round a bend and enter out, you find yourself in sort of like spring, almost air-wise. It's relatively warm here, and blue light fills the entire area. The wheels roll forward to the edge, and you're on a cliffside looking down a meandering path that leads into an entire subterranean world. There are forests to the east. There is small, what look like buildings, possibly in the distance, but it's all shrouded in sort of mist which coats the area. Everything has this blue tinge to it that takes minutes of eyes of rubbing and adjusting to even be able to see at all, and the ground is far below you. You can see movement in different areas, and through the sky there's sort of soaring a bird in the distance. There's no sun here, nor any constellation that's visible. Instead, it's like you're amidst an aurora, shifting blue and green lights that fill this entire subterranean area. And as you begin to take pause and prepare to take your descent, we'll take a short 10-minute break and return in a moment. What? You guys have made some progress.
Dang cultists were right.
We found Atlantis.
Wait.
Oh, without leaving our vehicle.
This is an entire extended ad for the new Tesla.
Can we get an entire new
man.
world to drive through?
Imagine all the things you can name after Van de Van.
Oh, actually, just before we go, everyone make a sanity test. I've seen this strange
That's fair.
whatever world.
So is everything lit
I'm
by
good.
this blue tinge?
I'm fucking
It is to
good.
be. Yeah,
Okay.
it's like you're wearing just the blue side of 3D glasses.
Gotcha.
One short of a fumble.
Oof. All right, James, D4.
I don't know why the snake bat was fine, but this broke me.
Well, Snakebat was just an odd creature. There's an entire subterranean world.
The
A
ghost
D4 if you
counter-
can.
Maybe you've ever believed.
I can't see any skyscrapers, right? This is like a world that may not run on capitalism.
Actually, now that you think about it, you can see some very tall buildings in the distance.
Oh well, that's even worse.
There must be people with more money than you.
All right, so a D4 for everyone that failed, and just you're fine if you succeed.
I lost
You two
4.
are good.
One.
Chill with this
All right,
shit.
the two of you you're particularly a little thrown, Van der Van. You're a little twinge. The two of you, you're getting down to it.
Yeah, whatever, man. It's
All right.
worse.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Brooklyn?
Yeah. Man, if you've been to Staten Island, it's worse than this.
What's this air pollution? All right, we're gonna take a quick 10-minute break, and we'll be back in just a moment. Thank you for hanging.
Coolio.
Back. Hello. Thank you for bearing with us while Jackson found his seat.
It was very hard to focus. Black. It fades into the background.
All right, so we've just entered into a subterranean world. But before we do that, and while we've got everyone here so patiently, we just wanted to update you on what's going on our side. So with the current world state, we may be changing to an online game for just a few weeks. Basically, it's a watch this space. If anything comes out, we'll let you know on Twitter for the time being, and we'll keep you all informed. But yeah, let's go tear around a blue fog-encrusted world and see what disaster you guys can get into. So,
Also, play Call of Cthulhu.
yeah, cool.
No, I'm not giving you that. That was jammed in
World's
there.
falling apart, man. Cut me some slack.
All right. You are all on the precipice literally on the precipice of a new world. The car rolls over. The two of you are handling it reasonably well, not so well. You guys are fine. What's the first intent? You can see a decent way from all the way up here. You could try and get a feel for the local environment. Otherwise, you could start your head down and try and make up some distance.
I feel like we should at very least, see if there's anyone around. Can we see any movement or any evidence of people?
Or animals.
Yeah.
I think there was something about a bird above.
There was a bird wheeling in the distance, basically just a silhouette, but you could kind of see it. Yeah, so spot hiddens, I think. What are people searching for?
I just want to see if I can spot people is my main interest.
Yeah, I want to see if I can spot specifically like smoke rising in the distance or something. Like
So a couple...
Is it reasonable I have some kind of binoculars or?
No, I think
those sound useful.
Yeah,
I think actually previously we did a joke. I was like, you put binoculars, but you don't have any, so you just do this.
Okay.
So just for context, the blue haze that sort of tints everything is playing a little bit of havoc with your eyes. You get a penalty die until they adjust, which could be a day or two. That being said, your height will give you a bonus die if we're looking for general things, but small specifics will be a little bit harder. Now, as I said, the mist covers the lower areas, kind of giving a sort of a haze to everything. A little difficult to pick out. But just for a very high-level overview, to your right, deep down, there's sort of hills before you, and then in the distance you can make out small sort of buildings that push through the haze, and in the distance, some taller ones. And to your right, there is a forest, tangled mass of trees, and then to your left, the cave wall continues sort of arcing around until it fades into the mist. So, searching for people, animals. Jose, are you doing any looking?
I'm going to try and get the path that we pick up where we think the others were. We have a goal here, and this is all weird and scary to me, so I want to try and stay focused on it as best as I possibly can.
Actually, can I say animals and like fruit or vegetables?
Oh, so you're looking for food specifically?
Both, yeah.
Could you go a natural world test?
Can I increase it first?
Sorry.
It's still 10.
Yeah. I'll just say, if you're looking for like stuff that's edible, which seems to be what you're kind of fishing for, it'd be natural world.
Let me start with animals. Let me see if there's anything that's going to kill us first. So I'll start with animals.
Okay, alright. Go for a spot hidden. I guess if they're sneaking up on you.
So we've got the height, so that cancels out the fog, is that right?
No, this is you looking for something more specific, so there's going to be a penalty die. So I'll leave you there for the moment. Are you not looking for anything, DeMartino? Or just...
I'll look for people as well.
Okay, go for it.
How's your spot hidden?
Pretty good.
Spot hidden with a penalty
you should
die.
Just do it. I will.
Do you want to do something else?
You can assist him.
Can I assist? How would I assist?
That just cancels out. You're just both looking.
Oh, okay. Then I will assist.
And we'll just have one roll. So just make a straight roll, DeMartino, no penalty die.
Track.
Oh, okay. I see.
Make a track test, no penalty die. You're close to the ground here.
Oh, sorry. Oh, nice.
I'm gonna luck that down. 6 to a success 3, an extreme success.
Oh, okay, nice.
Excellent.
All right, extreme success for people.
No.
Nothing for animals.
I won't spend luck.
Nothing for tracks. All right. The where you've come out, it is like a hard rock road, but you can see it heads down and through the hills in a literal path. In theory, just follow that and you should be okay. That being said, you did cut away a little bit from where they were, so there's a chance they emerged elsewhere, and you haven't been able to confirm that you're back on their path. Animal-wise, you see that thing up in the distance, but then it wheels away and off into the aurora, not to be replaced by anything else for the time being. For people, there's no one here, not visible, and peering down into the distance, you can see it's several miles away, and it's hard to see, but the first building you can spot looks to be ruined, broken apart, and then after that, it's hard to make any movement. The mist moves a little bit. One point you think, with an extreme, you think you can see something off in the distance. Not in the forest, but sort of further deeper in. There's some movement as people go back and forth. Maybe, or maybe creatures. It's almost impossible to tell,
Any
unfortunately.
trace of the previous expedition in terms of people?
Not here currently. That's what he was looking for.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Not at
That
the
was the
moment.
track quest? Okay, sorry.
So there's no so basically what I wanted to confirm is there are no obvious settlements or
Not around you.
camps
Not around
immediately.
you, no.
Okay, well that's fine.
But there is a path that goes deeper in.
We appear to be broadly safe for the moment then. That was my concern.
You're in about sort of afternoon by your time zone, but here it seems to be like midday, if a little hazy. Maybe actually like early morning.
If there's no obvious light source.
It stands to reason it may always be midday.
Yeah.
We've got this car now, and we know that they walk down. We can start tearing up miles. We can catch them.
I reckon we
still,
got
I
the
still
only.
think we still got to be cautious. We can't be going at full power.
We got the only car in this world. What possibly could go wrong?
True.
What if it gets damaged? What if we can't get it out? I mean, we could leave it here as a getaway car.
Fuel-wise, you are probably down to...
That's true.
Even getting back now, you'd be, probably right. Actually, make a luck test. Do you want me to give you a luck test as you look? You go, did I bring bullets? Or shells? Whatever.
Oh, I passed.
Okay. We'll just do it. Occasionally luck test. You still have fuel? Yeah, you're alright for the time being. You could head down and you still have enough for a return.
If we continued on.
And a little bit further, yeah. A return
we'll
and change.
We'll be watching for the point of no return.
Yes.
For fuel.
I'm just of the opinion we have no idea what's down here. We'd be putting the car at risk.
The scale is also big. This place is large. You can't see the other edge. You see it goes to fog and you can't see any further.
0-2 on my list.
Oh, okay,
How
yeah.
many bullets I got?
Yeah, you got.
Whatever.
You just forgot one under your shirt. You've got a carton of them. You've got enough. You're fine. There's tons.
Excellent.
Can I take 2 backup shells?
Oh, by all means, thank you.
All right, what's the plan?
You know what?
99.
Fuck it.
Here's the thing. Here's what I'm thinking. That forest there, yeah? Forest is full of, plants and shit. And probably where there's plants, there's animals. Where there's animals, there's food.
Yeah, but this place is underground. We don't know what kind of...
Nope, we don't.
When none of us are skilled hunters or foragers, we don't know what we can find down
Hey, speak
here.
for yourself.
We could immediately poison ourselves. Die here.
Whereas, I think there's a road, and using the same logic, where there's a road, there's somewhere to be.
Other people survive down here just fine. I think for them to get down here and set up a base, that implies that they can live off this land.
I happen to agree. It's better than eating random mushrooms off a forest floor.
Well, yeah, if that's what you guys think, then that's what you guys think, Right? Let's take the path up to those ruins in the distance. Yeah.
And beyond.
Towards the buildings, yeah. Alright, well, I'm happy to drive, but at some point we may need to turn back or leave the car so that we can get back.
Okay. Alright. So heading down from here, it begins to sort of spiral back and forth as you descend the cliff face. It's easy enough to drive. It's a little shaky on some of the edges and you have to sort of take some quite tight turns, but eventually you descend down and you find yourself in foothills of these gritty, dark charcoal soil that's been piled up in different areas, natural formations, and a road which has been paved, which winds through it. The road is cracked and broken at different points with roots or sort of weeds that push up through it, and although they are not immediately foreign looking, close examination means they're slightly different. The plant blades are a little wider than you'd typically get up on, at least around New York. And you can see, on close inspection, there is signs of insect life or natural critters. Are you all staying in the car as you continue through the foothills? You're a little bit nervous still, just not looking far. I bet you can begin to pick up some pace now. You're kind of you're driving on a normal road. Begin to head through this area and then eventually get to a bridge which has been built over a small river. It's made of that same dark blue stone and occasionally sort of onyx black sections, and it's quite nicely done, and it's got accent work which has been done all through it, and some of the molding connecting some of the stones together is the same, which glints like gold. Rolling over it though, you head over the river and looking inside you can see it's fairly clear. Fish swim back and forth in it, but as you look closely they're all sort of odd. They have large bulbous heads that outsize their bodies, and the fins end in sort of tendrils that while they trail through the water occasionally sort of spasm shut, curling closed and gripping other smaller fish as they away.
Well, at least we can fish.
Yeah, does anybody want some... You want to stop and see if we can get something to eat?
I think fish is a fairly safe place to start.
I think so as well.
All right. Let's give it a shot.
Okay.
You guys try it, I'll watch.
Are there like significant numbers of them?
There's quite a
Because
few.
there's no humans down here.
Well, where you've parked, just a little bit further along, the lights are off now. You can see there is a small building, like a farmstead or something.
Oh.
That's not too far away, but it is visibly damaged. It's also made of what appears to be literal gold. Bricks upon
It's
bricks,
the same thing that's in the molding of this.
which have been
Gold?
piled together to form a house.
Well, we should probably just go over and see what that's about.
Oh,
It's not too far away. Both would be within
And
walking
it looks
distance.
abandoned.
How much is
Visibly.
How much is a single gold brick worth? Like
It can't be pure gold.
a ton, right?
It can't be because pure gold is moldable. It wouldn't. It would just slowly collapse.
You can have a look.
Yeah, can we have a look? Because it can't be pure gold because that would just kind of fall over like marzipan.
Well, why don't I try and get some fish and the two of you go and have a look at the.
I'll come and look at this weird house.
Yeah, we could sneak on over there just in case it's not as abandoned as it looks.
Okay, so the two of you are going over to the abandoned house, and
You admitted it was abandoned. Excellent.
damn it, supposedly changing my
Don't
notes. What about the two of you?
Yeah, I guess we'll fish.
Go shoot some fish.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it the DeMartino way.
If you're gonna shoot, just be aware. You shoot once, every single one of those fish is gonna get scared, and none of them will come close again.
Anyone in
shoot a
the,
bunch really quickly.
and anyone in the area will know that you will make a very
Yeah, we
loud
don't know if they have
announcement.
guns here, man.
Let me have a try and check if I can get one by myself first.
Oh, all right. Well, if I'm not gonna use my gun, I'm gonna go to the farmhouse, I guess.
Okay,
Alright.
so you're gonna leave Jose to fish.
Yeah.
All right, you sullenly put your gun away and head over to the farmhouse. Jose, can you give me a survival test with a bonus die? They're not that hard to find here. They're right there.
Business.
Yeah,
Nice.
hard success.
All right, you get a little piece of avocado and you put it in the water, and then you catch one of them, lunge it down. As soon as you catch it and pull it out, scales similar to others, and inside its teeth it's got these nasty little nippers, but you keep it away and eventually just slam it against the car. And after a moment or two, you can grab another one as well. You have enough food for 2 people.
So, I'm bringing us to 2 days total because we were
Yes.
at 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. If you want, you can spend more time, but there's quite a bit here.
Yeah, I wait until they come back to get me.
Okay.
I'll keep fishing.
I'll factor that in. All right, 3 of you heading over towards this building find that it is kind of like a farmstead. Behind it are pasture fields which have been irrigated, and canals run through them. You can also see that there is a low wall around the outside that has been sort of run over or like crushed beneath it, and the buildings of the actual structure, along with the walls around it, appear to be gold. Getting close to it though, some sections are clean-cut lines, slightly worn with age, but others look like they've actually melted down, sort of sloughing together and forming like run-down elements not designed to be, so it looks like it's happened after the fact. Additionally, in the section behind it, in the farmlands, you for a moment think you see something moving, and then it sort of fades away. There's a haze that, covers everything, and the actual irrigated sections are overgrown with sort of like little sparse sections of clumped grass and things. It doesn't look like actual like orchards or anything. It looks like it's overrun. Where's everyone going? What are you guys
Are there
doing?
any crops in the fields?
No. Yeah, if they were, they've gone barren a while ago and given over to this wild plant life.
I'd like to go inside.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'm
you're
gonna
heading
look
inside?
at the. I guess I'm interested in what it's made of.
Do you want to do me? So do you want me to give you a geology test?
Or an engineering chest?
I don't have geology. I don't have geology. What would a base be for that?
One, unfortunately.
Okay,
I would say.
have chemistry and physics.
What's your chemistry?
30.
Give me a chemistry test. We'll get you in
We
the
took
area.
materials unit part, like. Sorry, when I did physics, part of it was materials.
Okay, yeah. So physics? No, I'm
Yeah,
paying
yeah,
it.
I like
Yeah,
that.
no, absolutely.
I like
All right,
that.
go physics test.
I took one physics unit at uni.
All right, you're doing that. You're heading inside, and Vanderven.
I'll head inside.
Okay. How'd you go? No. It appears to be gold. the purity could be debatable, but it is high value at the very least.
And it's like a farmhouse?
Yeah. And it gleams in this absent sun. Like, you can see it glittering
That's
slightly
what I
as you
say
see.
in 1935. Bruh.
It's weird science. It's another one of Edie's
I
inventions.
make up words now.
Heading inside, you can see that pillars of gold are erected in the center to hold up the roof. And one of them has slightly broken apart, but is still suspended by what looks like a silver cable, which goes from the highest point down and appears to run through the wall and back outside. Additionally, you can see there are rooms divided between them by the same brick walls, no doors visible, and a couple of like abandoned structures inside. There are wooden tables and things or equivalents. What looks like a shelf to store things, and towards the back, there's in one of the rooms as you look inside it, it's filled with bored holes about that wide that head sort of yay big into the back section. But nothing seems to be in any of them. What are you guys looking for or doing?
The holes, do they look like someone's like pulled a section of it out as like a cross section of the...
Maybe.
Maybe. I probably wouldn't know that as a...
What appears in the way of like furnishings and
They
signs of life?
Yeah. They coated a lot of it in dust. A lot of the dust is gold and like tinged with it. Like, it's still got a sort of a strange luster to it, even if it is just dust that's covered things that aren't used frequently.
Food?
There's no food there. There are chairs which are sort of pushed up against the side, similar to your own frame, maybe a little bit tall for them. And on the back there's a bed which has been broken and like into the floor, but there's like a single sheet across and stuff. It's fairly similar to what you might use. Just again, a little slightly adjusted.
Personal effects? I'm looking at anything that indicates a human has lived here.
Go for a spot hidden test, but there's nothing immediately prevalent.
I'm
evident.
looking for like desks, or like a desk or writings or paper is I guess the main thing.
I think also spot hidden.
Yeah.
Just to see, because there's not one visible. Maybe there's something been hidden. DeMartino?
Yeah, I think I might, with these two inside, I might go back outside and look for whatever was moving in the garden.
Okay. Also spot hidden.
Yeah.
Regular success.
Spot hidden comes up.
Success.
Strong no.
Strong no. All right. You can't see anything going through the cupboards and stuff. There's nothing visible. For yourself, looking for personal effects, you do find underneath one of the corners and pushed far away towards the back, there is a small silver disc.
Silver disc.
Yep. About yay big. Perfectly flat, no markings on either side, and sort of pushed and like spun towards the way, like one might lose a quarter in a house. The only thing that seems to be on the floor.
Seems like a coin kind of shape?
Yep.
I pocketed it.
Okay, you reach towards it and slide towards yourself. As you do, you can feel a very slight tingle, just something on the corner. It just makes your hands feel a little weird. And you just slide it into a pocket.
Put it in my wallet.
Yeah. And then into the pocket. There's a layer of leather there. That'll make things good. Yeah.
Put it in my coin purse.
Okay, you got
coin
it.
Pocket, my wallet.
Edie, looking for, you can't find any signs of writing or anything.
No.
You can see occasional, like, on the entryway, maybe there's some scratch things. It looks like there is writing in different areas. There is no parchments or scrolls or anything, but they do have some sort of written language, and it is not ours.
It's definitely unfamiliar.
It's closer to hieroglyphics.
Okay.
Seems to be signing like what this place is called or something.
Yeah, okay.
DeMartino, how'd you go?
Hard success.
Okay. Towards the back, deep in one of the furrows, there's a canal where mud has sort of gathered in one of the sections, and crouched down inside it and just barely peeking above, you can see two eyes, a very thick furrowed brow coated in white fur, and sort of like almost dreaded hair which dangles down around it. It's wide, the whole head would be like that big, hidden down, and a large horn which is protruding just in front of it and up, and it's looking not at you but at the house where the others just went inside. Can you give me a psychology test and a sanity roll? Actually, go sanity first.
Sanity first. Barely a success.
Okay, all right. Let me see.
But you know what the difference? You know what a barely success is?
What's that?
A success.
And not a
You feel just like, no, it's
No.
fine.
Let's
That's normal.
not,
Horned,
actually.
large individual. Yep.
You
You take no sanity loss.
Okay.
You're all right.
I will roll a psychology.
Go psychologist. Give me hard.
Of course.
Yeah.
I would expect nothing less.
Just don't offend him.
Oh, I got a hard success. 25.
Okay.
30 is my
Got
half my score.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. Looking at it, it looks more scared / curious.
Okay.
Than it also has not noticed you. It's watching where they went in.
So it's not, doesn't seem to you like it's like patrolling.
No, it just seems like it's curious. Well, in doing that, I'm gonna put my hands up and go, like just a, hey buddy, how you doing?
Okay.
I'm Nick DeMartino.
Oh,
Pleased to meet you.
As you call out to it, it starts first and its head disappears back down, and then you hear like a sort of a crunching sound as gravel is moved, and then coming out the other side is a vaguely gorilla-shaped creature with large forearms, all coated in white and black mottled fur, except its rear goes down into more like oxen hooves, and there's a faint swishing tail at the back. Additionally, strapped around its center is a harness and a seat on the back, like a saddle. Can you make an, I would say, extreme charm test or something else? Because it has started and it's beginning to run, is what its instinct is. But if you can try and ease it.
Wait, so it's like a
It's like
little...
a devil.
It's like a fawn.
It's more gorilla shaped and it's big too. It's the size of like a horse.
But it's got like goat legs.
Yeah, it's a gorilla at the front, and
horns.
towards the back it's like oxen
Yeah, so
feet.
like a fawn essentially.
Yes, on four
But-
legs.
but
Yeah,
a
good,
gorilla.
yep, I pay it.
Yeah.
I've got persuade,
Yeah.
but it can't understand me.
No.
So persuade is.
It'd be
sort
charm, and it's just kind of like slow voice.
of, look,
and
I can
nature.
try charm or I can try fast. I don't think fast.
It was like base animal handling, but I don't think anyone has it.
I don't think that's a thing. Yeah, it's another thing we have. Yeah, all right. I'll try charm.
All right, go for it.
Yeah. I'm looking for.
Just like coo softly.
Hey, baby. Who's your good boy?
Yeah, I was just exactly what I was gonna say.
No,
Fluffy
no,
baby.
no chance in. No chance.
All right,
in hell.
the two of you hear like a, and then it and goes charging out. And as you two step outside, you just see it receding into the mist. You don't need to make sound. He rolls, it's gone. But you're aware there's other stuff out there. You hear them sort of like call out to it, and when you look up, you're unable to see it, but they've all gathered out the front of the farmhouse and they're looking away. You've by now gathered a couple more fish, slapped them and chucked them in the back. I will say you're basically good for the next few days. You're fine for the foreseeable anything until they perish. So
Nice.
All right.
Neato.
Hey, there's seems to be some sort of half gorilla, half ox creature.
Intelligent, you reckon?
Yeah, it seemed like it. Seemed like it knew what it was doing. It seemed pretty peaceful too. When I tried to like talk to it, it ran away. It was a bit scared of me.
Do you think it lives here? In this house?
Could be. I suspect if it lived here, it would be here
Didn't
rather
it-
than be
didn't-
looking at.
Didn't it have a saddle?
It did. Yeah, it did.
So it had a saddle.
Had a saddle on it, which I think is weird because it seemed like a very smart creature to me.
Well, if it has a saddle, that means something
Rides
rides it.
Rides it.
Yeah, but maybe I don't know what the relationship between the thing that rides it and the thing that is ridden is.
Well, regardless, it'd be a little...
Sometimes it's symbiotic, sometimes it might not be, you know?
At the very least, it'd be intelligent. It seems like we should be
Yeah,
following that thing.
it seemed fairly peaceable.
Well, I mean, whatever rides it must be intelligent. We should
Yeah,
probably
I
follow it.
suppose if something's smart enough to make a saddle.
I don't know if we want to go on.
No!
Yeah, sorry. I figured you'd come back over, but I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
not. Yeah.
No,
we did.
you
that was
all
a
made
joke.
it. It's not a long distance.
I don't know if we should be involving ourselves in the affairs of whatever's going on
The
here.
locals.
We've
yeah.
got enough food now. That's why we stopped. Maybe we should just keep going.
I think.
Are we still on the right trail? I mean, we're looking for this cult and...
What'd you guys find inside?
Basically
Anything?
nothing.
Not much, if any. I've already forgotten what it
Nothing
was.
lives
We
here.
found a small silver disc, but nothing. But even that was like it was just discarded around. the
Yeah, well, maybe a shiny dollar or something, but nothing else.
Can I see it?
No, I'd like to keep it.
All right.
As
You're,
we
you're
went
gonna show it to him?
I'm showing him. I'm just gonna keep it.
Okay, if that's what you want to do, yeah, man. I was just gonna take a look at it, but yeah, if you want to be like that, you can be like
I can
that.
loan it to you.
Yeah, I'll give it back. I'm not gonna keep it.
Oh well, that'd be fine.
Yeah, I just want to take a look at it. Take a look at it
Alright.
with gloves on.
Yeah. No markings on either side, and rather than like a quarter, it leads to like it zoomed in. It goes this. It just smooths down to points on either side,
so it's
like
like
it
a
tapers.
tiny
Yeah.
frisbee.
Yeah. Yes, like a small. Disc.
Like a disc.
Yes. These guys play
Don't
mad frisbee
Can't
golf.
say frisbee's trademarked.
Is it
Oh,
a disc?
like a-
yes, disc golf. Then
Like legally distinct throwing circle.
flash forward to 2 episodes and it's struck. Big frisbees come in.
No, big
Big
frisbee.
frisbee. Or did you just blind
Big-
it?
No, I
Big
didn't.
disc.
Sorry, that's what you were doing.
Are you gonna touch it?
No. Can I wait till these guys are somewhat distracted?
Oh,
But yeah, they're talking about discs.
Yeah,
Frisbees and shit.
Yeah, I will take my hand off, and I do want to.
It's just
I do
that-
want to see.
Okay, make a psychometry test.
Maybe we could be talking about the fish.
Well, the
fish.
frisbees were actually, I believe, I could be wrong. I could be making this up. Frisbee was actually a brand of pie that was
What?
sold to schools in
Okay.
these paper tinfoil tins, and when the kids had eaten the pies, they would throw the tins around.
Well,
Is that true?
I'm overly invested in the
That
story.
I think
seems-
so.
That
That's-
seems
And it was
ridiculous.
the Frisbee Pie Company.
Van de Van.
I feel like I
That
might have made
seems-
that up. But
No,
that's my
I don't want you to look that up. I want
Borderline
to live my
insane.
life believing that is true.
Okay, fine, I'm
Because
gonna
that's
look it up.
that's like the sort of thing that, like, yeah, that
You
makes
have
sense.
this.
I'm gonna look it up and
Alright, I'm gonna lock that down 4 points to a hard success.
Okay, alright. Holding it, and as you begin to sort of lean into it, it has a very... it's an odd emotion you're trying to pull into, and it's not one that you could naturally possess. It's different, it's moved, and you have to kind of like filter it several times to get anything close to what you would consider. And the warmest you can get is apathy. It feels like whoever held this had little interest in it. It was something boring, but you can see them, and you're sort of suddenly you're holding it, and you're clutching it in a hand which is similar to your own, but every finger is elongated, and coming forth from the back of the hand is a curled knuckle of a different color, and with a nail that's sort of like hardened and twisted remarkably, that sort of like spins out of it like that. And as you're holding it, you're depositing it into this sort of sword, I guess, like made of a similar golden metal with a leather and wrapped hilt, and as it gets slotted in, the sword begins to sort of like and move ever so slightly back and forth, and then it's lowered in a charge and sent in to meet resistance. But the feeling is still apathy. And like this doesn't matter. And like you get maybe some emotion from the events, and hey, it's something, but God, it's boring.
Okay, whoa.
we're not seeing any of this.
I think once he comes back, you do. He's kind of a little thrown by it.
I transferred it to my other. Okay. Whew. Hey. Oh,
Are
hey.
you okay, DeMartino? Or
Yeah.
you touch anything weird?
Yeah.
So that was oddly specific as a question. You feeling okay?
Yeah. Look. I think we've known each other long enough. I gotta look.
How long have we Oh, wait, we know each other.
You've all
Feels
known
like
each
a-
other through the group
We all
for
know.
probably like months into years.
Yeah, okay.
You've travelled and worked together closely. I think it's been about a few weeks now that you've basically not left one another's sides.
Yeah.
Even less. I think it's been like
It's
2
been-
Couple of
I
weeks,
feel
maybe?
like it's
Less
been
than
no
2.
more than 14 days.
Yeah, so maybe 2 weeks then.
It's fine. That's Kentucky.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you
so
get real
close,
close.
and
to
you
those
never
guys.
talk to them again.
Yeah.
You go to the center of the world, then you come back.
Look, my sister wasn't the only one in my family who had parapsychological abilities. I can, when I touch things, I can gain a sort of sense of where they've been and what they've been through.
Wow.
Cool, man.
And this thing is real weird. whatever last held it wasn't human. It had like a real messed up hand with like a knuckle coming out of it as well.
Like the thing in the field?
I
Same
don't think
hand?
it was the same thing. I think it was more alien than that.
Or more human in
More-
another way
more-
as well.
More developed?
The hand was more human and yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you're telling me you see these visions when you touch stuff?
Sometimes. It's a risk. That's why I wear the gloves.
That's why you wear the
What?
I
Did
thought-
the gloves like have a really nice vision or something that you just
Well,
keep
it's,
on
it's,
loop?
it's more that I'm used to them.
What happens when you touch the gloves?
Well,
I'm fascinated.
you don't touch gloves, you wear gloves.
Oh, okay.
I mean, technically you do touch.
It touches the gloves while you're wearing the gloves.
Yeah, but this stuff doesn't really make sense sometimes. Like
Well, maybe one time you just see the gloves being made and it's like, oh, well, that's nice, and you only need to see it one time.
yeah, you just get
See, how
used
many
to it.
times you go to the pictures to see a movie? Really, I mean, you've seen it. I don't know why I'm advocating on your behalf.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's nice to have someone on my side.
Whatever, man.
But I saw this. Look, it was put in a weapon of some sort, and it made the weapon seemingly more powerful.
So it's not a coin, it's a
But
bullet.
it also had a real sense of sort of not boredom, but like apathy.
Like
Oh,
it was
that's weird.
routine?
Yeah, like it was just something. Even as he inserted it into the sword, into the weapon, and
Was it a
went to
sword
defend
or-
or attack, it was just a sense of sheer not caring.
Wait, was it a sword or a...
Vaguely, yeah. That would be the closest thing, or was it pretty distinguishable?
Pretty much a sword.
Okay. Yeah,
It was an edged weapon.
Yeah.
it was an edged weapon. Yeah.
Fascinating stuff.
Look, I actually think the person who might find the most value out of this is Edie,
Oh, cool.
because whatever it is, it's got some sort of power to it.
So they put it in the sword, and what happened?
It like vibrated and seemed to get stronger.
So
I
like
couldn't tell you for certain, but
so like a
you might want to.
a battery that I'm not sure has been invented.
Yes to both.
You know, the
Yes,
Like
it's like
a
a battery.
battery.
No, it's not been invented,
the
really.
silver sheen on that disc reminds me of the silver on my cane. On my cane
Why are
gun.
you saying those words?
On my cane gun.
Why are you saying those words in
the
that
gun,
order?
my cane with my gun in it.
You're just making
Silver.
a sentence
It's
out
silver.
of those words.
This is silver. That's silver. That's a match made in heaven.
All right.
What do you think? You could soup up the little my little pea shooter.
What do you want me to do exactly? This is just a literal piece of metal.
Yeah, but you heard what it can do.
Okay, fine.
I'll pay very well.
I think you should experiment a bit on it first. Maybe see
I don't know
what
if
it
I-
is.
I don't know what I would have.
Physics.
Do I have like a tiny little magnifying glass?
You have some rudimentary equipment.
You'd have tools and stuff, like see what happens if you heat it up. See what happens if you.
Oh my god, it's like yeah, no, sorry, I'll tell you about it later.
You can go ahead and make a physics test.
Okay.
This is probably you sitting down for a moment and messing with it, but
I can't see it. I literally I need these.
you need these and you need to not wear
Not
those.
have all that crap in front of you.
I failed.
Okay.
I think I failed.
You can feel a slight vibration coming from it or something. You don't get much more from it though. You'd need to do more tests, figure out how it's used.
Or
You're not
just
really
stick
sure.
it in the gun and see what happens.
Do you have a spot where you could put it? I don't want to just drop it wholesale into the barrel.
Yeah.
I would consider that pushing the physics roll.
It'd be like pushing it in where I
Yeah,
load it. And
literally
find it.
pushing
And
the
then,
physics
and then
roll.
if we destroy it and we need it to give to someone, and they're like, "You destroyed my priceless silver disc," then I don't know.
I mean, if Nick's vision indicated it was pretty routine and ordinary, we'll probably find some more eventually.
Either it was,
To
or
be
the
fair.
creature or being that was using it felt that way about it.
Look, maybe
It's
let's
possible
wait.
that being can only feel that way about anything.
What? It's true. But okay, one of two things: it's ultra rare and we shouldn't muck around with it,
Yep.
or there's loads of them and we'll just find another one. And you can have that one. I want to run some more
I
tests.
feel like her logic's indisputable. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Edie, I will buy that disc for you for 150 American dollars right now.
I don't need money, man.
Fine.
Oh, I thought you did.
Well, not right now. What am I going to spend it on? Fish?
It's
No,
your
I don't.
disc. You said you'd lend
It
it.
is my disc, and I was lending it.
Yeah, I guess you did find it.
That's true. You can give it back to him if you.
Alright, it doesn't seem to be like popping off or doing anything crazy right now. You can have it, but just be careful with it and
No,
please
be
don't
careful.
destroy it.
I certainly wouldn't dare.
I give him the not for
You take it back. Once you're holding it and you're looking at your cane gun, you're pretty sure if you crack it, it would fit right where those shells go.
Is that a yes?
That's what
I'm doing
it
it.
as soon as no one's watching.
You're like
As soon as I have a moment alone.
You're like a
Being
kid who
your
just can't
friend.
wait to be led away from the Christmas table so he can play with his
That's
presents.
exactly
You're like,
it.
oh man, let's go eat those fish that Jose got or whatever.
Yeah, I'm actually real hungry. We should actually. Can we cook some of those
Yeah,
up?
what time is it? How close to setting up camp are we?
Midday, 2 p.m.
Oh, is it?
And initially, you can see this road continues on, and there are more houses in different areas and stuff like this. Continues on. We don't
You
get
guys
the
know
main.
where
This is the main thoroughfare, and no branches have been.
Why don't we?
We don't
We
need-
can eat now, or we can continue along for a
It'll
couple
only
of
take us
hours.
like an hour and a half. We'll have plenty of time for the rest of the day.
Sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Make a
mind
fire
eating.
and
Let's
eat.
make a fire.
I mean,
and-
for how long we've been here, the light isn't changing, is it?
No,
So that's weird.
not so far.
Yeah,
Maybe-
it may not get
maybe it
dark
doesn't
until
get
pretty
dark.
late.
Maybe it doesn't get
It
dark.
or it may
maybe-
not get dark at all. Yeah.
Maybe the days are like 48 hours long. You have no idea.
Well, let's eat then. But fire.
I guess we better cook the fish.
Is
We
it
can
a
eat
good
them
idea?
raw. We can eat fish
There's
raw.
light around. It's not.
Yes,
the
you
fire
can.
will only.
Not as
leave
in
us-
this fish.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, we should cook it.
We
Cook
should.
it quickly.
Could we?
Is there like trees around?
Maybe we can go back in the house.
Yes, there's the occasional sparse
Was there a
tree.
fireplace or a stove in the house?
Yeah, there'd be like a section which looks like it previously had like a bench
Oh,
top,
okay,
and
better-
underneath you could burn things.
If there's any hints of civilization,
Actually,
we
yeah,
better
let's
take
go
advantage.
No,
Into
there's
the house.
there's no fire pit or anything. But towards one of the sections, you can see a series of smooth bench tops made of that same gold with black sections. And as you're now holding the disc, you're like you have a hammer. Everything looks like a tool. You keep on seeing slots you could put this in.
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
whether it's just jamming into a groove or putting it into something is, a fine line between the two. But
is
you're pretty sure
definitely-
some of these things
it is
have like
definitely
slots you can
just
put
a
it in.
battery.
I'm gonna find the most oven-looking thing, stove-looking thing.
Okay, yeah.
Stick it in.
There's a flat stove top at least of just gold and with slight ripples in it where you can see different colors, and you take it and put it in,
Yeah.
slide it forward. As it does, you can see the whole thing just begins to, and soon it is scorching hot.
What the?
Additionally, above you in some of the higher points, there's these just rounded balls, which are just in different, and one of them sort of glows into light, and now the entire interior is filled with sort of.
This is how they
That's
get
a
Much
battery,
clearer.
alright.
Edie, can you pull the car around to the garage? I think we're gonna live here for a while. We'll get settled in.
They don't. They
No.
don't have.
Let's fry up this fish.
What's a garage?
You fried. You set yourself to gotta get scaling it and whapping it down on the warming thing.
Hot plate.
Yeah, hot plate basically. And you can bring the car at least so it's closer.
Is there
And park
anywhere I
nearby.
could theoretically park it so it's kind of not as visible?
Yeah, make an I guess
You know
stealth.
what I mean? There's a tree.
Yeah, you at
or
least park it
something.
off the road, but
Yeah.
you can just park it off the road. Give me a stealth test to see if you can get anything bonus, but that's your.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to not be out super in the open, especially Especially if we're...
It's off the road and it's around the back of the house.
Yeah,
You're now looking out and you're looking at the forest and the plains in
Yeah,
front
I
of you.
think
Like
that's
if they
fine.
come from that direction, then we're stuffed. But yeah, it's at least a bit hidden. The fish is fried up, and after a while, you jab at it. You kind of overcook it to be safe, but once you're bringing it to peel it away and you eat it, it is. It doesn't taste good. Tastes kind of not rotten, but there's a certain musk to it that you probably could have done without. But it's eventually it's filling your stomach, and yeah, it serves as food.
We cook up a little extra so that we don't have to go and find another one of these
Good
stoves.
call, good call, good
Yep.
call.
And then I guess let's load back in and get back on the
Yeah.
road.
Look,
Yeah.
is there an eject button?
Yeah, can I get this back out?
Oh, I thought you meant...
Yeah,
in the
as soon as you go
car.
near it, it is hot.
Can you take the disc out? Is the disc warm?
It's alright, I'll take it out with my hand in my jacket pocket.
Yeah, it's like a thin disc. It went into a DVD slot.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
like
get your
inside?
jacket out. And you're like,
Oh,
Whoa.
is there an eject button?
yeah, make a dexterity test
Yeah.
or sleight of hand, and it's going to be difficult.
Dexterity it is. Am I doing this wrong? I feel like
I
I'm
don't
doing it wrong.
know.
You're
Jackson,
looking at-
we don't know.
There's no clear button or anything. It slid in and now it's powering it.
Probably
You're
have,
looking at me like a
tweezers.
dimmy and I'm doing it wrong.
Well, you try first.
Yeah?
Amazing.
100.
Oh, jeez.
Burn your
Second
hand.
100 of the night.
Zeus.
Has that ever happened? 2 100s in a...
I
Oh,
feel like last session it may have. I don't know. That was a
Yeah,
bad session.
I think I fumbled twice.
You
that
put
day.
your hand in your jacket pocket and you're like sort of penguining towards it, and you jam it into the slot, and then you think you've got the edge of it, and then you're, oh no, Jack is not coming out now. And it begins to get on fire, and you, oh no, oh dear God in heaven, as you just tug on it and tug on it. Go ahead and take a point of damage as fire begins to go up your nice jacket and crisp the outside. Is anyone stepping in to help as smoke
Yeah,
begins to rise? He's going, oh dear.
I'll wrench him free.
Yeah.
Alright, make it. Just give me a straight strength test.
I've got like a
Oh!
penny or
Extreme success.
something.
Okay, you grab him and pull him back, and as it does, it tugs out, and the jacket wedged under the disc sends it out through the air. Is anyone going to catch it?
Yeah, I'll try.
It's hot! It's hot!
It's hot. And
Well,
Edie, you reach out.
Do a
have
reach
gloves.
out.
Oh yeah, you have your big gloves on.
Yeah.
You reach out and grab it, and you catch it in the air, and it's not hot at all. It's fine.
Nice one, Van.
And the
What's the damage? What's the prognosis?
the jacket
jacket.
is ruined.
No!
And also, you know that if the jacket's ruined, the pants are ruined because they went together.
Exactly
So
right.
this is all going in the bin. You've got another 3, but you're down to 3.
I
This
do,
is,
don't
Yeah, you
I?
brought a ton.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we don't have any food or rope.
First aid.
Yeah, go for it,
Little
mate. Make a first aid test.
One short of a fumble.
Okay, yeah. Don't do that anymore. All right.
That would have been amazing.
Edie,
Well,
you have it currently.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Guess
put
I'll have
this
to
away
wear
in my
the
pocket.
autumn collection.
In
Wait,
spring.
wait.
God.
Yeah, it's spring.
The hot thing does not seem to be hot anymore. It's cooled down fairly rapidly.
All right, I propose that we don't put that in your gun.
I take your advice in consideration.
I'm gonna put the disc somewhere that he can't easily
Yeah.
steal it
So
from
you're
me.
keeping it on yourself.
Like in a pocket.
Yeah, you got an inside pocket or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
You got. Picture you in overalls for whatever reason. You
Yeah,
got the
I
the
am.
front pocket. You put it right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you are in overalls.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
face is.
I'm
your
gonna
face is
I'm
right
gonna
there.
not do it. Maybe just go outside implicitly to do something with the car and then just.
Okay,
So
so
you don't
Van does not immediately know where it is, but you do still own that. You found it.
Oh, yeah.
It's yours.
Right,
It's
right.
on loan. If you need it, you can get it back, and you can always stick Jose on him. All right, but you've gotten it. Where are you guys heading?
I guess we're going to the car to keep moving.
Okay, you get back into the car and turn it back on. It sort of sputters for a little bit, and you just ignore what the fuel gauge reads, because hopefully that's not right. You've got enough, and there's another canister, but you're cutting a little short. Additionally, your watch has now just completely stopped working, so that's handy.
What?
Yeah,
It served my grandfather for years on the high seas.
Wait, what?
looks like you're a long way from the high seas. These are the low subterranean plains.
Top speed. Let's go.
Which direction? I guess we'll stay on the main road.
Okay. You continue driving along the road now, and you're going past these other little buildings. Some are small, towns. There would have at one point been walls around them, but they've been destroyed, melted down. And occasionally, you think you can see movement from inside some of them. Are you going? Sorry.
Are they all made from gold?
Almost exclusively. Some have black stone, which has been used as well, but it appears like those two are that's the color scheme they agreed on
And
when they
that's-
designed the suburb.
It's clearly stone. It's not some indeterminate material that is also just black.
It is some sort of stone. Yes, I couldn't tell you this.
So it's not I don't even know what precious stone is.
No, it's not like obsidian. No, I think it even marble, so it's pretty valuable and it's nice,
Yeah.
but it's not black diamond or something. No, it does give
Yeah,
you some sort of stone. You can see some of them are farms, some are small towns which have been sort of built around smaller areas, and you're free to go inside. Some
Are there
others appear to be temples. They are small, lower ones, and they have ornate twisted columns out the front of them, many overgrown, and a lot of them given over to sort of...
So there's definitely no people.
Not in any of them. Occasionally, that's not true. Occasionally you do see movement. It's always inside and to the distance, and sometimes off in the further areas where the mist sort of coats, you can see something going back and forth, possibly several somethings, but none of the houses are occupied. They're all abandoned.
We could try and go talk to these gorilla things. They seem friendly. Like, we could go see if they'll help us out, maybe.
Are we still on the trail?
Are we?
Well,
We
we've
have no
lost
way
the
One of
trail,
them went
but
off.
We want to catch
You're
up.
on the only path. Do you want to give a track test, actually, to see if you can spot anything further?
I'm going to give you 3 points of luck to make that a success, leaving me with 1 luck.
Oof.
You fool.
Oof. All right. With that, though, you are able to eventually see the happiest you've ever been to see a cigarette butt on the side of the road. Yes.
Speaking of which, can I...
You feeling all right, Jose?
Just a little tense with all of this.
Oh, that's perfectly understandable. Here you go.
Later.
Fine.
It looks like it's been a little while since it's been there, but there it is.
We're on their path. We're in a vehicle. This is our time to catch up with them. They have your sister. I understand that this is all weird and strange. We don't know how these people can help us. We don't even know if we can talk to them. Best case scenario, maybe one of these things manages to lead us somewhere. What are we going to say? What are we going to do? I think we continue. We've got a goal. We've got somewhere to be, and we're finally making progress here.
I suppose we've found evidence of humans, existing down here. And it seems foreseeable that even if we run out of fuel, eat the rest of our rations, we can still survive down here and hopefully find a way back.
I agree with Jose. I think we should keep moving.
Okay, again, yeah, that's fine.
As far as we know, these people aren't going anywhere. But Argus and he's like they are. So we got to catch up.
Yeah, okay. If that's what you want to do.
And I seriously doubt that they got a car down here.
It's true.
Because that's what the book said.
Don't you turn that against me. I'll give them any vehicle I want.
got a tank down
there
here.
is no signs of them having a car down here. Going along and seeing the cigarette, you see another one after a little bit, and then you're kind of keeping an eye out for anything of significance where they could have stopped, but you haven't seen anything yet. You're continuing to drive, and as you're getting towards your evening, here's same time, the buildings around are beginning to get grouped closer and closer together. Occasionally they seem a little bit less ruined, and eventually you get to a point where you can see 3 things of significance. One, off to the right, there is a larger temple than any of the others. It towers above, and it's multiple levels, and it's long and wide, and it seems to have really recently, been broken down at some point. So you can see rubble that's fallen, and it all has cracked open. There's really sharp cuts that haven't been weathered yet at all that denotes it was recent, and from inside, at the very edge of your hearing, you think you can still hear at least movement or shuffling or something enough to bring it to your attention. To your left is a plantation, a farm, but one that's actually still being tended. There are things moving out there, humanoid forms, and some of them larger, like that gorilla-like creature you saw. Additionally, standing on the very edge, completely naked and picking idly at a couple of sort of strange bushels of greenery, is a person who looks very human. Very normal. And as you look closer, you actually saw his face. It was at the Slater Institute, up on one of the walls. It looks a lot like Dr. Nesbitt, but he's had a rough go of it. Finally, further along, these are up on either side, right ahead of you, this whole thing begins to turn into a larger city. It's still ruined, and areas have been toppled at different points, but dotted out from it are skyscrapers made of gold and black stone that are tall enough to almost rival the Vandervan Tower or even the Empire State Building in height.
Heresy.
I
Wait,
doubt that.
what?
But go.
Yeah. So, as we are about to wrap up today's session, I would like an inkling on which one you would be interested in pursuing.
Alright.
So the temple to the right looks like it's been recently disturbed. To the left, a farm.
With a dude.
And Dr. Nesbitt,
Yeah.
someone who looks a lot like him. And before you, the larger city, the metropolis of this area.
I think we should talk to the human.
Yeah.
I also agree.
It's a plan.
I think we'll go see Dr. Nesbitt.
But I
because
think we should
he probably
approach
knows
slowly.
what. Oh, yeah.
I
yeah.
think
He
we should get out of
seems
the
kind
car.
of out of it. He's picking berries in the nude. Like,
I think seeing a car would probably break him.
Oh, yeah, we might want to hide the
Ooh,
car
this is
somewhere around here.
yeah, I can park it around the corner.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You make eye contact, you just reverse. We'll be back. All right. With the intent to go and visit Dr. Nesbitt on this strange farm and see what's going on down here, our investigators will pull on the handbrake and head down towards him, hoping not to startle him, but we will leave the session there and pick it up again next week. So, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and cheers for, just seeing what's going on. We'll be back next week. And in the meantime, you can check out Mike Mason's stream, which will be up tomorrow morning, 7:30.
8 p.m. GMT.
Thank you, James. 8 p.m. GMT, 7 a.m. here, and I think 12 p.m., like midday in the States on one of the coasts.
Yeah, approximately.
So that's enough time to get a flight to the one I'm talking about. The video for this one will go live on Friday. Mike's on Saturday. But until then, thanks for tuning in. And we'll
Adios.
talk to y'all later. Kashwang.